here we are. Best of 9 grand final in the ShenAiXie Cup. And this tournament has just been upset after upset. All the big names that you might have expected to play in this tournament did play. They just didn't make it here. And Vinchester and Sebastian have been on a crazy run. Might be biggest moments in their careers if they win. I think particularly for Sebastian, no big tournament wins under his belt. And he's here in the blue playing as the Byzantines. And we got Vinchester, who does have that one big tournament win all the way back in Titans League Season 1.
And then gets relegated the second
And then he got
season.
relegated second season. So it's been a bit, but he's here in the red playing as the Persians here.
Yeah, if Sebastian wins this, it's going to be the second A-tier tournament in a row where the big dog signed up and he took the crown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's an incredible achievement. And I think coming in here, I think he has to be the favorite over Vinch just based on how he's played. That set for Sato yesterday, especially the final game, was insane. But Vinchester, I mean, Vinch has had the easier bracket, but he still made it here.
But
he's still here.
The thing too to just mention about Sebastian's prior win compared to this one. I know like everyone likes to talk tiers, right? And technically this is an S tier, right? This is $20,000 tournament. The other tournament we're referencing, Thalassocracy Cup, didn't have some bigger names sign up, and it was like maybe 3,000 or 4,000. It was not in the same category as this. Arabia is like the map for pros to play on for the most part, at least day to day. So yeah, this would be huge here. Now, I'm very curious to see how frequently Vinchester walls. Now, that'll be map dependent, but I felt like the games where Sebastian struggled against Sato was when Sato walled.
Yeah. And when he was maybe going for the 2 militia, but also going up to Castle Age quite quickly.
Yeah.
And Sebastian had to guess
on
what strategy he was going to go for. I was of the same impression. Like, I thought back to that. There was the Portuguese or Cav Archer game. There was the Aztec game as well. And it just kind of looked like when Sebastian was on the back foot and he was trying to adapt to Sato's strategy, he was a little uncomfortable.
Yeah. And there were some exceptions, like some of those games got a bit wally for both, but yeah, there were just multiple instances where he would be up against walls and he wouldn't know what to do. So, and Vinchester did wall up a lot to beat Barrows, if you remember. He went for the 2 militia very frequently, which he's going to do here. And yeah, it was definitely one of his best approaches.
All right, so 2 militia from Vinchester. I was looking at his draft. A lot of cavalry focused civs, at least early. Like he picked Hun second, which is just it's nice, but it's kind of weird. But this was one of them where the 2 militia drush is very popular with the Persians, and he is going to go for that strategy here. He's kind of like known for this. I guess he would be the guy who popularized the 2 militia instead of the 3.
Yeah.
Especially with King of the Desert. What was it? 3, 4, 3? I think it was 3.
I think it was 3. One of the deserts. Yeah, and it's the difference here, I think, is what Vinch likes to do is he likes to create a couple more villagers in the Dark Age instead of what Sato did a lot in the other semifinal where he would be on the way to feudal and then make the militia. And this is really good economically, but you are just simply later to any feudal age option. And it's funny, speaking of full walls, Sebastian's going to be the one to wall up pretty nicely here. And I think it's smart. Like, if you know Vinch, you think, like, Japanese, Persians, Malians, Mayans. He's always added the militia. So if you don't want to deal with that, you just get the walls down. And he should be walled by the time Vinchester's over here with those 2.
And these are walls that he can adapt later. Like, he's walled to the gold for now. But I think it's just because he knows that this pressure is coming forward. He's tracking the scout right now. So I think if you know there's a drush coming in, you want to monitor the movement of that scout because it's inevitably going to go over and join that.
Yeah.
I think he knows that he's pretty safe with those walls there. He'll just garrison the TC and hopefully the shots hit and there's another couple walls right there. So Vinchester not really buying himself all that much time. It actually might be a situation where he goes up and then adds a couple extra militia, gets the men-at-arms upgrade, and tries to get some range units forward if he's just on the outside of these walls looking in.
Yeah, I think if you had a... excuse me, sorry, it's still getting over something here. If you had a like a real target to hit, you might see the additional militia. He is on gold. That could be an option. But right now, Vinch clicks up, and he's just going to attack the Palisades. But I don't know. This is also the ideal start, I think, for Sebastian. It's like first game in a big best of 9. You play it nice and safe, take no risks. But so far, the Drush hasn't done much. It's not the end of the world for Vinchester to not do damage with this Drush.
Damn, I'm sad we're not seeing the Fast Castle Cav Archers again from the Byzantine.
With Byzantines.
Or no, it wasn't Fast Castle, but it was Cav Archers. Never again.
So I spoke to Sebastian after the series yesterday. He said he watched every single second of our cast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because remember that we covered them as Rex, right? So he obviously knew that he had won. And he and a buddy apparently were chilling on the couch, just watching all the games. And he said he was dying at our reactions to certain things, right? So including that, like, I think he also was kind of like, what was I doing, you know?
I feel like we were very supportive of the process.
Dude, we were.
We just couldn't, you know, find it in our hearts to believe in that strategy.
Yeah, it was rough. Especially, he said, rewatching the 7th game, he said, I knew who won, and I was still nervous watching it. Like, it was just crazy. Yeah, it's fun to get the perspective from the players. And Sebastian's going to see the range now from Finch. And remember, Persian Eco is no joke. So he's invested more, sure, because of the militia, but he's already collected 300 more resources. Simply due to how fast his TCs have been working. He's got 2 extra workers now. And that can grow. That could be 3-4 extra workers if he doesn't take damage in feudal.
More farms coming in from Sebastian. At some point, I want to go watch his games and do nothing but watch when he places the farms, because it feels so much earlier than everyone else, on average anyway.
Especially in the aggressive moments, right? Like right now, you're expecting these farms to come down for most. But when there's like big feudal age engagements happening, he is a big proponent of it. And he also has said, and I would think we saw it in the Huns game he had, where he's got like the Mangonels, the CA, the Knights, and then you look back and he's got 40 farms. He said it is server dependent, but he's using the auto farm, dude. It just mill and click, 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 and it really helps for players like him. So I think that's really helped him.
Yeah, I mean, it's about the speed of it, which can be a little bit slower if you have lag, but it's also about the space savings too. It just looks nice.
And you don't have to think about it. You don't have to think about it. You can still use your brain for other things. And like pretty much everyone's using it right now. I think the exceptions are actually maybe some of the biggest names, like maybe Viper Hera don't use it as much, but it's big. And Sebastian comes forward with the skirms. I don't know what Vinch was expecting to be up against here, but
Vinch did well there, dude.
He did.
Vinch
he did
really
well.
Sebastian got really aggressive with some really low HP units. Vinch, no, save the... Why would you go in there with the scout? You can click the button. It can hoover around the
You could make more. He's making more scouts. Don't worry, dude. And actually, he was probably hoping to get a kill there because one of those skirms is very weak. And Vinchester now has to realize there's more spears and more skirms coming. And this is just so annoying when you're up against Byzantines. It's like usually you kill off a couple skirms and spears and you're thinking that no one will want to make more of them. But when it's this cheap and they produce so quickly, it's just full-on spam right now from Sebastian.
My question is, like, why would you open with the archers here if you're Vinchester? You're against Byzantines. There's nothing really to hit on the walls. You're tracking the army. You know you can't come forward and support the militia.
Well, you do kill the spears much faster. So he's hoping to do basically what he's doing right now.
And then just dive on the skirms, But that's going to be so tough, man.
It is. It's really difficult. And when your base is open, you're under a lot more pressure, right?
Look at these militia. Getting some value. Let's go. Finally in a fight that they want to be in rather than attacking a wall. And you know what? Vinchester's done a pretty good job so far. His eco is still better with Persians. He's killed a few skirmishers here and there. The skirms haven't gotten into his base. And he still has some range units alive. So
dude,
at the moment, they're both just trying to wall up. Sebastian's got 3 spears, 3 skirms in the queue.
If Vinchester doesn't have walls, though, this is going to get out of hand. Yeah,
like,
this
needs a market right there or something.
There's
the walls.
I would like to see him give up. Well, he might get the full walls, but I was thinking maybe he could wall between the stable and the house and the woodline, and just not wall as much here, because if the units get through, he's going to have a real mess on his hands. Right now, he's dropping the market. He's falling back. And here comes Sebastian. 7 spears and 11 skirms. This is on the field. He already lost a bunch of them as well.
And in your mind, you're thinking, it's just skirms and spears. Like, how risky could that be? But it's still 14 units. Like, even if they're doing 1 damage,
yeah, and
to your villagers, it's a lot. Dude.
At this level, if they're just camping on 6 farms, that's enough damage. It's not as if you have to be killing vills necessarily. Look at the resources for Sebastian. That's the second part of this whole Byzantine rush that's problematic, is they can still have a reasonable castle age time. Whereas Vinchester's still producing all this army, just hoping to defend from this, and that's going to be, he's going to have to sacrifice on his castle age time.
Early wheelbarrow as well for Sebastian.
Good tech to get here.
And the farm count really, really solid too. The scouts are out though from Vinchester, and he's chasing away this army. With the help of the market, he could be up pretty soon, but he has sold 100 stone already.
Yeah, that's not a fight he wants to take. Is Vinch actually taking this fight?
Vinch don't care. I don't know why he doesn't care, but he doesn't care.
I mean, he kind of... I don't know if you consider that a win, but he does hold at least. That was crazy. It was like 6 scouts against 4 spears.
Yep, and the Byzantines can just replace those. I guess the question is, like, what does Sebastian shift into here? And it's going to be camels.
Yeah,
2 stables forward. And Vinchester, even though he wins that fight, isn't really going to have that much in the way of map control. He's still making archers, still making scouts, but Sebastian's only 1 minute and 20 seconds away from castle age.
Yeah.
Really rough situation here for Vinch. He still hasn't clicked up. Okay, finally, we see the market being used, and he's about to click up.
Yeah, so I think this is the dream start for Sebastian. And if I were to describe the Byzantine game plan, it's gone perfectly. You get the walls down so you take no early pressure. You open spear, skirm, and force a lot of army from your opponent. Ideally kill a vill, which he killed 1. And then you just go camel, monk, boom. You don't actually need the spears and skirms in this particular matchup. In other matchups, like say against Britons, maybe you rely more on elite skirm. But those scouts for Vinch are not going to get through or do anything. And yeah, Sebastian expands his walls. So he has more space locked down, and he's up.
Oh, the scout got in.
Oh, and it's a weak vill.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's frustrating, man. Nice job.
Oh, no.
That's sick from Vinch, though, because a lot of people don't check the HP there. Sometimes you'll see pros not double check that because they have other things to do. So.
Oh, he's checking HP now, dude. Now that he's in with a weak scout, he's checking HP, and he's found those 2 stables. He knows what it is. Vinchester's still trying to get away with this big wall, and he's adding a 2nd stable of his own. But a very healthy, very respectable amount of archers right now.
Yeah.
So without skirmishers to back this up, which he already cleared, these camels are going to kind of struggle against crossbow, and then he can add camels of his own. So Vinchester looking to be in an okay position. He still has 600 food in the bank when he gets to castle age. It's pretty good.
Vinchester's nerdage with this scout makes me so happy. Small things, like he attacked each stable separate times to give different attack notifications. And now the scout is still running around and distracting that one night.
You're such an idiot.
I love it, dude. It makes me so happy.
It makes me furious. And he's going to get out, dude.
Yeah, he's going to get out.
Run!
Oh, no, he's going in a circle again.
He saw the monastery, and he's just going to hang around until the monks come out.
You're right, though. Having these crossbows is huge. And this is not necessarily something that Sebastian is prepped to deal with. Because when you're making Byzantine knights, there's no discount and there's no real exciting bonuses to work with. You just don't have bloodlines. And you might be forced into siege or something along those lines. So I like the siege edition from Sebastian. I like the fact he's on the 2nd TC, but I really like Vinchester's play.
Dude, Sebastian just cut him off with that knight. Vinch lost track of the scout. Sad. So sad. Vinchester also sold the last 100 stone he had.
Yeah.
So he's like, he wants to push here.
I don't mind, like, on paper, I think staying 1 TC with Persians is really good because your TC works so fast, right? We talked about it yesterday, and so he can stay on 1 TC, And if he's being aggressive against Sebastian, it's very likely that Sebastian will still not pull ahead of him in Vils because of the distraction. So, nice save there from Sebastian. He almost lost that monk. But Vinch is just kind of camping on the Siege Workshop right now, so Sebastian has to be careful ejecting the Scorpions.
These knights so fast. Look at them. Oh, man.
Yeah, the monk healed up the other monk right away. And yeah, all the knights are brand new. But what are you supposed to do with these Scorpions now? Where are you supposed to send them? You could try and eject them through that opening towards your TC. That's probably the best bet, but could be risky.
I think you just wait. You just wait until your knights come out. They're fully healed now.
Yeah.
Try and get some conversions. You eject them, then you get a good position. But he has killed a villager. Vinchester's still trying to push over there. He kills the second one. Villager count is even. Sebastian has the wheelbarrow advantage right now.
Those crossbows are so important to this. They're needed for the monks. They're needed for the camels.
They're
and the
dead.
monks are all going to survive, and it's going to be a clear up for Sebastian. Vinchester tried to kill the monks. The forward monk actually was pulled to the side there. And yeah, that was not good for Vinchester. He tried everything he could, man, but Sebastian just had too much.
I think if there's that siege workshop there with the monks and the knights and everything, you got to either rotate all the way around or you got to leave and wait for your own siege to come back.
Yeah, maybe.
And monks and stuff. It gets so difficult with the flags on the siege workshop. You don't know what's in there. You got to respect it, but at the same time, Sebastian can just choose to, run out and attack you at any point. You can't do anything about it.
Think
you
about
can't go after him.
Like the additional ball of crossbows was actually kind of a surprise for Sebastian. He didn't he killed a lot of archers. So a lot of times you're going to encounter that and you're on full camel, right? And you don't know what to do. He had knights in the mix ahead of time. He added the siege workshop at the perfect time. He had the monastery and the monks were healing his own monks and his own units. And his eco is flying, like we said. Like, just zoom out and look at it. Yeah. It's crazy. So
36 farms.
He's insane.
Unbelievable.
He's playing insane.
And he's on stone already. Oh my god.
It's perfect. It is honestly the perfect start to this game. And for Vinch, he has not had a bad game. But he's going to have to play... he's going to have to play catch-up. But I don't know. Like, Persians have such a good economy. They do not have military that can compete with Byzantines. It gets super complicated from here.
Oh, Vinch is in the comfort zone now. He's got 2 crossbows in the back of his base.
Dude, this has been a comfort zone since those plumes and those scorpions. For freaking
I'll never
Vinch.
forget that. In like 400 ping.
Yeah, 400 ping. He's microing 5 plumes against 3 scorpions. By the way, the knights for Sebastian got stuck on the stone miners. So that was actually kind of annoying for him. He couldn't get over here. Here comes the push from Sebastian. You don't want to overextend in these instances, but he's probably feeling like, how can he right now when he's in this position?
Bro, what did you think about that Canada goal last night?
Dude, it was insane.
It's pretty slick.
I wasn't watching the game, but I ended up watching the highlights. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Last second drama, it seemed like, in that game.
Nah, dude, I knew we were gonna lose. Of course.
It's all right.
It is what it is.
You guys made it out of the group and made it to the 3rd place match. That's more than some people. So.
Oh, monk dies. Nice. One thing I like about this. Oh, Sebastian loses 2 scorpions. That's fine. He doesn't really need those that much anymore without the big ball of crossbows from Vinch. One thing I really like about what I've seen from Sebastian's play here with the Byzantines, he kind of realizes that even if he's up against the crossbows, his heal speed with the Byzantines can kind of outpace the damage of 1 or 2 or 3 crossbows, right? And he's really kind of keeping that in mind. When he took that fight there up near his own stone, he had 1 monk healing up the monks that were converting.
Yeah.
And he wasn't doing anything but healing with it, and Vinchester couldn't do anything about that. And then the unit gets converted and the whole fight
Vinch has a window here. And it is slightly ajar, but it will close soon, and he needs to stop this castle. He's got pikemen now, and he has siege, right? So with pikes and camels, could be enough. Sebastian, if he completes this castle, is
market wall
going to be in a
love
great
that.
spot.
I love it.
Yeah, that's huge.
Amazing.
You don't even need to complete the market, obviously. You just need that to block that area. More vills are on the way to help with the castle. Monks are there. That's enough to scare away Vinchester in normal circumstances. But Vinch knows he has to force fights. So he gives up the camels. He comes to fight, but the castle's at 70%, Dave. I think Sebastian will still be able to complete this. And then Vinch will lose all of his army next to the castle if he's not careful. He could get trapped if Sebastian builds like a gate or something on the left.
I'm not certain this army for Vinchester has much value left anymore. Ooh. I don't know if he cares if it gets trapped. I see the vision. I definitely see the vision, and Sebastian did as well. He's gonna get to Imp, and he will have 2,000 food in the bank.
It's like on he earth? Didn't. That's the thing. He didn't cut any corners, right? It's like we think cheap Byzantine Imp. His eco is just as good as a normal Civ.
It's almost too good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And there's the ranges, so it's gonna be hand cannon. Oh boy.
Yeah, hand cannon, arbalest. I mean, either one is to. I think arbalest particularly good against Persians because the Persians can't go for. They don't have very good skirms. I don't think there's much that he could really do wrong at this point. He could maybe build up towards elite cataphract and get away with it here. And he's gonna have 4 relics, dude. 4 relics.
I mean, you're still up against a Persian opponent. Well, that relic might not make it home. You're still up against a Persian opponent. He's made it to the grand finals here. I don't think this is a scenario where you're going to go elite cataphracts. The monk is just trolling him now. There we go.
That's funny that he microed that. Bit of a gift there for Vinch. It is next to his monastery. Yeah, I mean, you don't genuinely want to go for elite cataphract. Obviously, I think that's a little too ambitious. But the monk actually saw the castle from Vinch. So now Sebastian can just Trebor from this hill. Yeah, Vinch is stuck, man. It unfortunately for him, it feels like he fell behind and he's gonna stay behind, which is just.
And it's like, what do you even do here against? Well, so many civs. What do you do late game against Byzantines?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not really sure what to suggest. I mean, you need to make it messy. You need to hit areas other than the middle right now, and that's not going to happen because Sebastian, he has vision everywhere with the outposts, and he's got army everywhere to handle what Vinch has on the field.
Dang. Vinch's half wall in the north isn't going to accomplish anything. We have Trebs pushing forward and Imperial Age still 20 seconds away. Oh, jeez. Yeah, so, I think if you're Vinch here, you know you're probably going to lose this. Give yourself your best chance in this game and just drag it out as long as you can. It's game 1. You know, you don't want to feel like you just got snowballed.
I agree. Yeah, this is as good as Sebastian looks right now. This is just the start for Vinch today. I think he's got the ability to turtle up. He's got the ability to play just like Sebastian did. It's just the matchup and the timings hasn't worked out for him here. I'm sure when he saw the full walls from Sebastian, when he showed up with the militia, he was probably like, oof. And then in Castle Age, right after that fight in the Siege Workshop, with how good Sebastian's playing, it really felt like from there, Vinch would struggle. But can we talk about like all the small things that Sebastian's still gonna do here? Because of how
like
serious this moment is. Yes, walling the choke points is so good.
He's got vision in front of that too. So it's no risk. Walls.
Yep. Knows where the gold is.
A lot of times when people are like, why don't pros wall? Well, you know, they don't have vision in front. Their wall could be denied. They're wasting a lot of resources, right? They should be paying attention elsewhere. But Sebastian is in a situation where it's perfectly acceptable to do something like this.
I agree.
Because he's just sitting in the middle. And he's got full vision on all of this stuff, so there's really no risk of doing that.
And it comes to the hill. So Vinch, very limited in terms of tech tree, was trying to think about what he could do. He didn't actually see too many hand cannons from Sebastian till now. He has already decided he's going to try hand cannons.
Bombard tower? The splash damage bombard tower? Okay.
Oh, let's go. I think he needs to get Greek fire for the splash damage, though, right?
He does. But yeah. I mean, he should be fine to get any technology he wants. He could get Byzantine Paladin.
Yeah, Paladin, Cataphract. I mean, he's got the castles there. He's going to go Cavalier, actually. Think about Paladin.
Okay, I take back. I rescind my statement on Vinchester. Drag it out as long as you can. Don't put yourself in a position where you're completely surrounded by bombard towers. Resign, dude. Get out of here.
Yeah, just I mean, players are very different with losses. Some players will resign instantly, just like try and forget about the game that way and move on.
Yeah.
So other players need to play out a loss a lot longer, and then they don't think about it anymore in the lobby. You know, so he's got a big army. Like you look at your pop and you see 160 right now. You don't want to resign.
No.
So you're going to resign around like 120, 110 at the lowest. And he's pushing back. It's gunpowder for both. The Trebs for Sebastian are putting in some work here. And Sebastian does have Cavalier in queue right now. So he's not waiting for Paladin, actually. And Vinchester kind of... I mean, he's held. I don't know what he's holding on to at this point.
I don't
He's
know
holding
either.
on to the ledge, and there's no one there to grab his hand.
Look at his exploration of like the top corner, for example. He just
Yeah, Sebastian's done everything right. I mean,
if Sebastian pushes up there, Vinchester's gonna go for a mining camp. But if Sebastian pushes up there, Vinch is just dead.
yeah.
Even just a couple Cavalier. And Paladin is coming in, bro. Byzantine Paladin.
Not the worst Paladins in the game, but they're close to it, I think. Or are they tied for the worst? I forget.
I mean, Celts don't have the
final
bloodlines, and they don't have the final armor.
Yeah,
and I think I'd rather not have the final attack.
Correct.
Than not have
Oh my
the
god, the
final
Paladin stable's actually on the front.
It is. That might be Vinchester. Don't kill that.
I think
Let
you
him
want
get it.
I think you want to kill it. He has no clue it's being researched there. I'm sure Sebastian doesn't
It's
either.
going down, bro. It's
No
going down.
way,
No,
dude.
He shifted. Yeah, it's going down. He tried to repair it.
I mean, Vinch does have Halbin. If it's Paladin, you have the crazy HP and
How much
and
you want to
attack.
bet Sebastian's like, okay, I didn't get Paladin. Let's go Elite Kata now. No, he keeps queuing up Cavalier. Dang.
Yeah, I mean, he is going to... At least he researched it in a safe stable now. He's just got to wait another 2 minutes.
Oh, sick shot.
And we've got Cavalier in the north now, Dave, raiding the gold. Then Sebastian's going to switch focus. And yeah, bombard cannons for Vinchester. He doesn't have enough of them to really push a castle right now from Byzantines. Props to Vinch. 200 pop. It still does feel like no matter what he does, he's in a losing position here, but he's built up a force that can potentially deal with this.
I mean, Sebastian is kind of playing Tech Tree Simulator. He hasn't tried to attack him at all.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think like if he wouldn't have lost the Paladin stable, Paladin would have been enough to end the game at this point. Because that HP is just going to be far too much for Vinch to deal with. Nice fight here for Vinch as he will take out the Trebs. Still big problems for him in the north. He lost all those villagers. And now he's starting to lose his castle. Again, first game in this final. Vinchester still looking at his pop, and he's like, I'm 160. Bro, you're going to have to kill me today. I'm not going to just make it easy for you. But I think the GG's called. Paladin is also like an emotional victory. When you're able to run around with these things, the opponent will see that and realize how good your position is.
Yep.
And GG's called. There we go. Well, that win felt as though it was earned 20 minutes into that game.
As soon as the crossbows died.
As soon as the crossbows died, yeah. But that is the level that you expect from Sebastian right now if he gets a lead. He is that good. There's an inevitability about him, which is why I feel he is so elite. Now, I want to see what Vinchester does with the lead, right? Vinchester also found positions against Barrows where when he would get his type of game with the matchup or the map, it would also feel somewhat inevitable. So we got a long series here, but yeah, dream game for Sebastian.
The eco there for Sebastian, just so much better, right? Like Vinchester's trying to keep up, but the food is just coming in way more consistent. He got wheelbarrow super early, and his farm count was just always rising consistently.
Yeah.
He was never just sitting there on, sometimes you see people, they're trying to go up to imp, they got 19 farms or something, right? And it's a struggle. Now, Sebastian, producing military, has always got 25, 30 farms with handcart or heavy plow or wheelbarrow, whatever it is. And then when he gets imp, he's floating 2,000 food, like we saw.
Here's the thing to mention. Last thing for Vinch before we speculate on draft. I can't tell you what Vinch could have done any differently, honestly.
Nope.
So, but a lot of times a player's going to lose, and you can say X, Y, or Z could have been different. I just think.
Well, he could have gone up to Castle Age faster. I
Yeah,
think he really delayed that.
If you're in Castle Age faster, you then have less army to deal with the Feudal Age army. In theory, so
it was only skirms.
Yeah, that's true. It's tough. I think that Vinch played it well, and we'll see better games from him here. And here we are, game number 2. So it is Tatars Franks, a matchup where my mind immediately goes to the Tatars would love to be able to go scouts at Cav Archers here. So we'll see if Sebastian can get there. The map's fairly open. We've got a bit of a weird one. I don't know what's going on with some of these wood lines.
This line of wood line, this line in the middle is kind of acting as a preemptive wall.
Yeah.
For Sebastian to some extent, but his goal is still forward. So he hasn't gotten the small wall map. And we could see Sebastian already coming forward really early with this scout against Vinchester. Vinchester playing as the Franks, a back gold and back berries. So Vinchester has an okay map.
Yeah, it's a good map. The matchup is really what can be the concern if you don't get damage in feudal. And Sebastian rewarded for going forward early here. And he probably won't steal the elephant, but he did find the sheep, and there's not really much Vinch can do. He didn't know his sheep were there. So he's just aware his opponent's scout is around, and he's doing the right thing to bring in his early elephant. But Franks want to go knights here. Tatars have camel. Tatars have flaming camel, and Tatars have cav archers. So Vinchester's going to have to really put his foot on the gas here.
Oh my god, I thought he was going to lose that Vil, dude.
You know the situation where you are doing the TC trick, but then you get worried that your Vil's going to die, and you garrison that Vil, and that Vil is enough to kill the board?
Yes. Or when you sometimes select the TC and you get no options in the TC and your hotkeys won't work.
Dude, that's so annoying right now.
Shoot that, yeah.
Yeah, that's
frustrating.
That's really frustrating.
I think that happened to Leary, I believe.
I saw the clip. Yeah, I saw the clip where it happened to him. It was with a deer, though, so it wasn't as bad. But yeah, I still like, that's happened to me enough times where there's always that small amount of stress while I'm casting, even though I have faith in these guys. All right, so can we talk about the golds for Sebastian long-term here?
Yeah, bad.
Really bad, especially when I'm thinking, like, if this game gets really crazy, Franks would love a forward position with a couple castles. I know we don't see it that frequently, but in a matchup where you probably need to stay on knights because pikes will be dangerous against cav archers, I'd love to see Vinchester 2-3 stables, head to stone early. He likes his second TC on stone, and drop some castles forward.
I think one element of this map that's going to be really nice for Sebastian is the fact that there's so many hills.
Yeah, true.
There are just so many hills. And of course, he's playing as Tatars. The only flat ground is where the base is spawned. Other than that, like all these important areas, these choke points, everything, hills.
He may assume, it's not the biggest deal, but there's not much else to talk about. I wonder if Sebastian assumes that Vinch is kind of towards the south of that stone, just because of where players would normally spawn. Because in this right corner is a little awkward. There's a whole side of the map which feels like we're not going to focus on too much.
I mean, he can see where the zebra are being pushed.
Yeah, maybe.
So if he looks at that again, it's a giant lion right towards Vinchester's TC.
Will Sebastian make flaming camels if the situation arises where they should be made?
I think so. You can make them out of the Siege Workshop now, right? So I think so.
What do you think about that? I feel like it's a little weird.
No, I mean, it is kind of weird, but the problem with them is that they up the production time. So they just take forever, right? They just take, you can make them out of the Siege Workshop, fine, but they just take forever. And Flaming Camel is just so niche.
I get that it's niche, and I also get like that they wanted to see it more. But I feel like it's something that still had some type of relevance, but just people weren't doing it, right? And they kind of forced it. It's just weird to me. A stable unit, or like a unit on a horse or camel, I guess, not coming out of a stable or a castle is weird to me. Siege Workshop. It's like, where do they get the camels from?
So like the elephants from the Siege Workshop are a little weird to you as well, or?
Oh, I didn't think about that. That's now a problem. Yes, that's
Yeah,
now a problem.
okay.
I didn't think
You
about
have
that,
you have weird problems with things.
dude. I could go down the list if you want,
Mm-hmm.
but I agree. I have weird problems. I can't disagree with that. But isn't it kind of nice for Vinch where they've spawned here? It's kind of nice for him that there's not a lot of reasons to be on these hills on the side. Like this other side is nothing but hills, which would be disastrous against Tatar. So at least it's kind of flat, like around his base and around Sebastian's base in comparison.
Well, they're going to meet up, and this is going to benefit Sebastian a lot because Vinchester will be in Feudal Age later. Sebastian has the hills to hang out on, and he's catching up, man. And Vinchester's like, okay, Scout, just keep running. 15 seconds, gets a downhill hit. Another one.
Yeah.
Another one.
Say goodbye to the extra Frank HP, basically, right?
He's actually done well here, and he might win this fight. Let's see.
Ooh, they're both actually 3 hit because it's 5 HP per hit. Both scouts are weak, but a big thing we got to talk about right now is Sebastian's food income. He's got 6 goats underneath his TC, and for Vinch, he's just got 1. And Vinch is going to open range here. He's not going to open scouts. Interesting.
Okay, Vinch, do the thing. He's like, I can do this too. Sebastian does this all the time. Nope.
Sebastian's not even going to garrison. Sebastian, he garrisons.
Brother.
You can't be tossing away your scout there, Vinchester. I get it, but you can't be tossing away your scout when it's on low HP like that.
I'm surprised Sebastian didn't pop an 11 in the chat. That is a very 11able moment right there.
I like that word 11able. 11able is a really nice word. I like that.
You understand it inherently. You know what it means, right?
It's kind of, does it fall into the same category as onaged?
Yeah.
People talk crap about onaged, man. You know what we mean when they say he onaged. You should get it. I don't understand.
Onage, he onages, one onagers, one onages.
We onage, yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's a lot of conjugations for that one.
Here comes the scout for Sebastian. And Sebastian's just now going to see it's an archer opening. He didn't see any indicators before. And Vinchester already has the spearman archer headed forward, which could be kind of annoying for Sebastian, but he is making a range already. And momentum's with Sebastian because of the win in game 1. Momentum seems with him at least because of the start right now. I mean, still making scouts, also going to have skirms. Vinchester kind of needs that next step himself.
This is annoying. Archer and the spearman forward.
Yeah.
It's actually quite annoying.
Now, if Vinch still had the scout, he might try and like distract the TC fire and shoot the goats with the archer. Maybe I'm looking too much into it, but Vinchester is a nerd. So what you want here is you want the switch into scouts yourself. This is becoming more and more common where players they'll think about step number 2 based on what their civ is good at instead of step number 1. So like an archer civ would open scouts and then go scouts into archers, or a scout civ would go, archers into scouts. But Vinch doesn't have the stable yet. He's going for the blacksmith instead to go for fletching, and his micro is going to have to be fantastic here. 4 scouts and 3 skirms are going to be up against his 5 or so archers here.
Yeah, it feels like you even need a couple more spearmen because you're going to lose them to the skirms. But
if you have fletching, you can fight off skirms without upgrades. But that is if micro goes perfectly for you, and there's no telling how quickly Sebastian's going to come in.
Thank you for deleting that. Oh my goodness.
Oh shoot, the first one was on the lumber camp. Yeah.
It was so bad, bro. I don't know what he was thinking. But he is going to go to the stable, and he's going to try and hold this hill. Fletching means that he probably will be able to if the spearmen are nearby.
Yeah, I think even the presence of the fletching upgrade, but then also the stable is enough for Sebastian to back away. He didn't spot the stable, though. He seems content to just fall back for now. And he'll add his own blacksmith, so he will go for fletching in a moment.
Great farm numbers from Vinchester already. 10 of them. Didn't need to wait for horse color, but Sebastian had all that extra food, and he's just now out of the goats.
Yeah. And
Crazy
9 farms with
value
horse
from him.
color himself. He actually got that research in, which is pretty crazy. But, dude, if the scouts surprise you here, it could be problematic. I don't think Sebastian is going to separate his skirms from his scouts, but there might be instances where he wants to raid with the scouts, and then he wants to pick off the archers with the skirms, and the scouts are out there for Vinch now.
He sees him. Yeah, he's going to take out that one. Really nice. Vinchester takes out another scout, so that's a good entry to this fight. So there's only 4 scouts left over. There are all the skirms here. Vinchester, though, massing up some scouts of his own, and he's coming back with the archers because he couldn't find a way in.
Dude, this woodline's real annoying right now for Vinch. He's trying to get home, but he doesn't want to go that way.
I don't think Sebastian can sit here for very long. I think he's fine just chopping the wood. Yeah, he can't sit here. Interesting decision from Vinch to come in behind this with the archers.
Yeah, agree with you there. Agree with you. And, you know, there is that spear there from Sebastian, which could really help him. It still hasn't been killed off. And I think overall, this fight is really good for Sebastian just to kill off those archer numbers.
That was some impatience right there from Vinch. Like, I think if you take him back in time about 30 seconds ago and ask him, what should you do here?
He would
probably say, I'll meet up on the left side with my archers.
Yep, just delete the house, come through. But you know, his base is open, right? And he tried to get some initiative in this game. It never really happened for him. And when the pressure's coming in and there's this, you know, the consistency's there, it's easy to make those mistakes. And we don't expect it. But I think that's just a credit to Sebastian and how consistent he's been with the scout numbers. He's still producing scouts. He has not stopped. And the skirms and the fletching upgrade just paid off so much here.
Vinchester also has 800 wood in the bank. Like, he's so distracted, he's not doing anything else.
Yep.
He's got 9 vills on gold right now. Like, he could go for a market and still balance. He hasn't lost a villager, and he's ahead on res collected. So it's not the end of the world. It feels like everything's falling apart, but there are things he can do to manage this, and he still keeps producing scouts, and Sebastian can't push in yet. So Vinchester, please, market right now. More farms. Perfect.
This feels eerily similar to some aspects of Game 7 Sebastian Sato yesterday, where Sebastian had great control, and we're like, oh my god, he's going to win the game in feudal. And then, you know, the guy didn't end up losing any vills. Now, this time we have Sebastian going for more upgrades. He's going to get armor here, and he's making way more scouts. But yeah, you're right. I mean, well played to Vinch. He can use this moment to stabilize his eco, which he's doing. Get some walls down, which he's doing. He's still exposed, though. The front hill is just like the big issue for him. Going forward.
I wonder if he can, like, if he were to have sneak a couple houses in there on that hill, I think it would have changed the entire complexion of this.
Yeah.
But he never really thought about that.
He kind of built up his range on the side too, right? Like, if you built your initial range on the front, it does change how the engagements might go. But it's about to be 11 scouts for Sebastian. What in the world? 2 stables, Dave.
With the armor, yep.
I love it.
It is double archer range production, though, for Vinchester. And Sebastian, you know, he's got a couple weak scouts, so he has to make sure he doesn't, like, feed face into this gold. There is a scenario where you could just lose too many units on your entry.
Yep.
And he's waiting for forging right now.
Oh, this is good for Vinch.
Position.
That's actually really nice for Vinch to kill off some skirms there. I just don't know how effective are the archers going to be here. Vinch has to take this fight. He's trying his best with lesser numbers of scouts. The archers are the real difference makers. He's getting some good kills with the archers. The archer micro from Vinchester is fantastic. There's just still is a chance.
You can't feed face here. You can't feed face. And that's what Sebastian did.
I don't even know exactly what that means, feed face.
It means feeding face. You know, like you go face first into something and you feed kills.
Is that it?
You never heard that before?
No, not until just now.
I'll just keep saying it then.
Okay. You go ahead. We all say weird things from time to time. Nice job there from Vinchester. I'm pretty sure Sebastian just kind of felt like he was going to win that fight on pure numbers and upgrades. I'm a little surprised he didn't win the fight because he had armor and he also had forging too.
But I don't think you can fight there, dude. That's great from Vinchester. This is so much like that Sebastian Sato game yesterday, where we just thought when he lost all the archers, Sato was cooked.
Yep.
And then somehow he's in a better position. And Vinchester is going to be feeling really good about his position right now from where he was a couple moments ago.
Well, right now, I think you're still kind of concerned that Sebastian's going to be up. I know he produced a lot of scouts, But still, when you're behind this far, you're just like, please don't be up faster than me. Please don't be up faster. And that won't be the case. And just back to the Sito game real quick. I asked Sebastian about that. We talked about that game more than any of the others. He said, I had 2 choices there. He said, I either produce like 10 more scouts and stay in Feudal Age to kill Sito, or I go up to Castle Age immediately. And so maybe he tried to adapt here, but great job from Vinch, dude. To get that right after how bad that looked is just sick.
Sebastian snipes 2 Vils on the farms. Vinch has a sick farming eco, by the way. 22
really
farms right now.
Yep.
Sebastian, even better, 27. Oh, and he's still producing scouts too, so he's going to try and keep getting this damage. He's roaming around with those 4 scouts, coming in with another 2. Forging, armor, bloodlines, very, very strong units right now.
Isn't it hilarious that Sebastian had like 12 scouts on the field, didn't kill a single Vil, and then 4 scouts just wander in and kill 2 Vils like it's nothing? It's just... made it look so easy.
He might have problems with these crossbows, though.
Yeah.
It's quite a few of them.
I think we might see, like, maybe some Lancers here. Cav Archer suddenly doesn't feel as viable. He adds a 3rd stable. I think we'll see Light Cav Knight Lancer here from Sebastian.
Maybe.
Kind of rare.
Needs to lock down his base. Well, he's got this time. Like, we need walls here. You can't have the Lancers running in, or the Scouts, or Light Cav, or whatever it is.
The front of your base should not be open like that, but I think for Vinchester, he's going to play this through military, and sometimes when players are playing this aggressive, they just assume they'll have the army to deal with whatever it is. It will be Knights for Sebastian. It's +2 for Sebastian. He's going to have 9 Light Cav, though, that can run right into that gold for Vinchester. Vinchester, this could be devastating if these Light Cav spread out in your eco. But Sebastian, no TC. Nothing to protect the gold on the front. So he could have problems, too.
And he's just waiting for his Knights. He's waiting for the +2 armor. And the Light Cav are in the most predictable attack ever. He does have some Spearmen there, but the Light Cav will take those out right away. And they're still going to be harassing this. They have to leave, though. Good defense from Vinchester to bring 2 more Spearmen along. And the Knight. And he's still pressuring this stable. This is going to be a problem for Sebastian if that stable goes down before the monks come out.
Let's see if Sebastian can hold this. I mean, that stable's about to be down. He does have +2 now. And Vinch, this was always the plan, right? Always the plan. He was never going to go home to defend himself. The monk doesn't die, but it gets microed away and doesn't get conversions. And Vinchester continues to micro. Here's the monk again. Will try his best to kill it. Again, Sebastian micros away. And then he goes in for a conversion again. And again, he micros away. And this whole time, the Knights, Dave, are doing enough with the upgrades he has. And he will actually hold here. What a hold.
Yeah, great micro with the monk. 3 separate times. Those crossbows tried to snipe that monk, and Sebastian just pulls him away.
And those are
times...
times...
he relies on the reinforcements coming in.
Yeah, that's 3 volleys then, where the crossbows aren't hitting the Knights, right? So you save the monk, you get a conversion from the monk, and then 3 volleys from the crossbows aren't hitting your own Knights. That's just disgusting patience in the moment. And now he's up to 6 Knights, 3 Light Cav, drops the 2nd TC. Vinch is still in this game, though. 2nd TC for himself. It's just... Army comp's a bit of a worry when he's played so heavily into crossbows.
Still, the front side of that base is open. The right side is open. The left side is about to be overchopped. He's got that house shift queued. You can see it.
Yep.
And, okay.
He did see the army. He is Town Watch, so he does know the army's there. This, I know it feels like Sebastian can do a ton of damage because Vinch is open, but with monks on the field and it being mostly Knights for players... it will actually become very complicated. Players will keep their monks close to TCs and should be able to get conversions. And Sebastian trying to dive in. He loses a Knight on that side. 2 Knights actually on that side. And Vinchester is on the other side with a monk. The monk's
Vinch is going to go up to Imp, dude.
No way.
Impchester.
Impchester.
No, he queues up 2 more Knights, but like you look up at your res and it's looking like that. Suddenly you're thinking, is Imperial Age viable? Like, what does it give me, right? Like if he goes down to Stone, gets up to Imp, and then plays into castle or something, it could be good. But yeah, he doesn't believe it's viable. He's gonna queue up some more units. The gold disappears.
I fully understand that Franks don't really have the best archers, but I think the crossbow knight decision from Vinch is good, because what you can't have is straight knight against the Tatars when they can go camels. And also, if there's monks in there, he's still going to need something to deal with the monks, which he's tried before, but he'll have to try again here. So
this is such a weird map, Jen. Like, it's just so weird for Arabia, with this little woodline wall in the middle, the hills all over the place, being so close together.
And nice job. I like this from Vinch because he can't really advance forward with the main group right now. 2 knights can sometimes accomplish more than 12 with the raid. And that's a nice little distraction, but this is just building up towards a big fight. Sebastian's just got such a big army, though, Dave. And he always has those monks. If he loses the monks, especially with pikemen now in for Vinch, it's different, but
the monks right now are kind of acting as bait. They're pulling the crossbows out of position in every fight. Right?
Yeah, true.
First game and this game, too.
Yeah, he does lose one there. He does kill a monk there from Vinch, but now a light cav goes in. That could be a monk killed. Nice job there from Vinch.
Nice.
This is looking good for Vinch. He's killing off the monks. He's got pikemen in the mix. And Vinchester is not going away quietly. He, too, is on 3 TCs. And look at this combo, right? We've got knights, pikemen, and crossbows and monks against only knights right now for Sebastian.
I felt like some lessons learned there for Vinch, right? Like, he can't just snipe down the monks with the crossbows. He added in the light cav tech, and he made sure that guy looped around and killed the monks. And like you said, once he kills the monks, it's a pretty good fight for him to take with the pikemen and with the crossbows as well. And now Sebastian is struggling a little bit to find a way to clear this army. Vinchester pulling the crossbows way out of position, but he's going to be fine still.
I love the patience from Sebastian. If he stayed in the fight moments ago, he loses it. But he backed away, waited for 5 more knights, and he gets a bit of a hill as well, and even getting conversions, and suddenly Sebastian takes somewhat of a better fight. Now, I could be wrong on this, but when you start to see pikes, I really think it's ideal to mix in some lancers here. With the way units group up.
Tristan.
Oh, and Sebastian is raiding. Dude, how do you do that, though?
Happened.
How do you lose a fight and then also counter raid?
He was attacking the house, and then his knights got in.
Oh my goodness!
And Vinchester just couldn't keep up with it, and that's so many dead vills.
Yeah,
oh my
I don't think
Vinchester
realized.
Still doesn't know.
Yeah,
he still doesn't know, dude. Oh god.
This is just not a situation where you're expecting to be raided, right?
I mean, he did just kill 5 vills from Sebastian as well, but still
kills the 5 vills. Also, Sebastian's early engagement wasn't the best against the pikes, but there's still armor. There's still monks around for healing, and there's a scorpion there. And yes, Sebastian clears that. Still a close game. The military count continues to be consistent for Vinchester. And he is on stone now. So, again, like, with this type of game, I don't think Imp is going to come anytime soon. And I would love to see castles for Vinch.
Crossbows are kind of out of position here. They're trying to snipe down the pikeman and the scorpion. And now all the crossbows are down. Sebastian clearing this fight. And he's got a significantly better eco. Like, Vinchester killed, I think, 6 or 7 vills while he was losing those. But he lost, like, 16. To that raid. That's terrible.
And look at the idle TC time from both. Really impressive, honestly. But now it's back to this hill. Vinch found a fight before, which was reasonable. It's going to be tough for him. It just seems consistently to be knights, scorpions, and monks. And there's no way for Vinch to counter raid here. I think you just have to face the music. You have to deal with this in some way. But can you right now? Because the knights are only getting stronger as they get healed up by the monks.
Casual 45 farms from Sebastian with handcart coming in.
Just always making knights. Where do you castle if you're Sebastian in a moment? Do you castle where your army is right now? Or is that too risky?
Maybe where the monk is sitting.
Yeah, that's probably much better.
And then you stay on stone with like 10. And then you can force a castle forward if you need to, yeah.
Vinch will try and kill the monks. Sebastian loses a monk, but I think he'll still take this trade. He still wins the fight pretty easily here.
Oh, wow. Convincingly. You could also castle on the left side, too.
I like it from
Feel that
Vinch on the
TC.
left side right now. That's good. Like, Vinch needs something more than what's happening right now, and this is kind of what Sebastian did. Sebastian does react immediately, though, and the main fight still needs to happen. You still need to deal with the 23 knights that are there, and that's going to be the castle for Sebastian. That's interesting. It does kind of range the stone and the gold, so that could be good.
I wonder if he places this even further forward on the left side, or if he's just going to commit to that. He still has 12 on stone, so
Yeah, like he just spotted the TC. Being able to castle a TC on gold would be sick, but if you castle that TC, then you give up the middle position, which feels really important.
You'll have a second one at some point. Imperial Age actually clicked first from Vinchester, but right behind him is Sebastian.
Yeah,
and Vinch is still like wide open on the right side. We see some knights coming in. He's got no castle of his own yet. And he's just going to go into probably the Halb upgrade, but this is going to be rough.
It's going to be tricky from here. You know, I guess like when I think of this matchup, I don't think about the Tatars going Cavalier though. They can, but maybe that is the saving grace here for Vinchester. If he can get Halb against all this Cav, the Tatars can kind of be stuck. But it does feel like with Sebastian having so many knights, it's going to take Vinchester time to kill it, and he might have the time to make any switch he needs. I think Tatars also get hand cannon, actually.
They do. You could go Halb hand cannon with Tatars if you wanted to. I mean, you're missing 2 infantry upgrades, but...
Yeah. We see a couple Keshiks mixed in. It's a solid unit. It's cheaper than a knight. It does similar amounts of damage. I like it. Vinchester.
Finally, the wall from Vinchester. Let's go, dude.
He's sick of it, man.
Be denied? Oh, no. Okay, it doesn't get denied.
I like how both players have tried that. Like, that's been something that I've noticed is both players, despite the main fights, are always trying to get the little side raids. And Knight is getting some damage in the back of Vinch's base as he's, like, pretty much surrounded right now. But Sebastian doesn't know about this castle. He might still end up taking this fight, but he's running into castle fire now, so he can't stay here forever. He's going to use the hill, win the fight, and he could back away if he needs to.
Vinch has 12 military units right now.
Yeah, it's a problem. Behind by 20 vills. The knight in the back has killed 7. He is up faster. He can make trebs. You need army to protect the trebs, and the GG is called. Sebastian wins another one. 2 games in a row where it just kind of feels like once Sebastian takes control, it's been tough for Vinch to get going. Maybe it's the matchups, right? Like Persians against Byzantines, kind of tricky. Franks against Tatars, definitely tricky. But Sebastian making the most of his moments here.
Yeah, like it's surprising Vinchester found himself in such a good position after the early feudal age fights.
Agreed.
But it felt like he never really had belief in his position at any given time, right? I don't know how to explain it, but he never really had the initiative. He wasn't really looking on those side areas until he got raided on the side.
Mm-hmm.
He was just pushing in the middle there. And I think a big part of that has to do with the way this map is set up. I think it just kind of favors the Tatars with these hills all over the place and the way that Sebastian walled, right? But credit to Sebastian because he actually walled the front side of his base. Vinchester left that open forever.
Yeah.
And there was constant problems with that.
Dude, like, think about early feudal. It's, again, a situation where it's been Sebastian really setting the pace, right? Like, Vinchester's early archers didn't accomplish much, and then, you know, it was all Sebastian. But, I mean, there's a lot that happened in this game. If that fight on the main gold of Sebastian, where he had the double mining camp, is bad for Sebastian in any way, the whole game changes.
Yep.
And like that monk move, dude, like the conversion, the dodge 3 times was just enough to swing the fight. And he had confidence he could do it too. It was really cool to see. But I still think, like I said at the end of game 1, Vinch is fantastic. And I think he just hasn't really had a matchup yet that's clicked. Tatars felt slightly better. The map maybe slightly better. Same with Byzantines, Persians. So there is that for Vinch. Hoping he can get one on the board. It has not been uncommon. I think in both semifinals, we had a player winning 2 in a row, and then the other player then winning 2 in a row to tie it up. Exactly.
Ooh. I haven't seen this Civ matchup in a while.
This Civ matchup is a fun one, and the map generation maybe a little bit better For Vinchester, at least in terms of the gold. We'll see. It's Magyars for Vinch. No eco bonus for the Magyars. This is a civ that likes to play open with scouts and maybe eventually knights or cav archers. And then we have the Britons, a civ that's incredible with archers, but maybe has fallen out of favor at the high level a little bit. So good to see the Britons back. Sebastian's gold, though, could be a bit of a concern. Very exposed there on the front.
Is as well as the stone. He's got wood lines, which are nice, but we look at his other gold options, they're pretty far away. And that one secondary gold, Tristan, is in the middle. It's literally in the middle of the map. That's terrible.
Yeah, not great. By the way, just did do a tiger check, and there's only 5 here.
Okay.
I was
did
wondering,
a corner check, so
I was wondering if like maybe all map generations that generate tigers, there's more than usual, but I think that one game we covered was just a bug.
Sebastian, if he had kept going a little bit farther, he would have found those sheep and 2 boar. He's trying to lame Vinchester, but he doesn't even know where Vinchester is.
Yeah.
He just walked right past his face.
Vinchester down 2 games, not panicking and going forward to lame himself, right? We see that a lot where they feel like they need to take those risks. And yeah, Sebastian's just not going to find him here. I guess he'll wander home. So I'm thinking, okay, so Britain's obviously archer opening's fantastic. Magyar's scout opening, so it could be archers versus scouts, which would mean Magyars go scout skirm, and then Britons go like archer scout, maybe? It could be kind of the reverse of what these 2 players did in the previous game.
I mean, if things play out the way you thought they would, Britons are going to open stable and then into range, right?
Yeah, that's what a lot of
That's
people
what
are
you
doing.
said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're not
Or we
opening
could
with
see
their
2
ideal.
militia drush from both. You never know. Saw Magyar drush yesterday.
I think if your unit is cheaper, though, you should always start with it. Like in the case of the Magyars, you just got to start scouts.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you get stuck on whatever you open with and you can't make the switch. So being like, if you're in a situation where your opponent's going archer spear and you're stuck on scouts, you could still make an extra scout or 2 with Magyars and find good fights. But with other civs, it's kind of like, I really can't rely on only these scouts anymore. I think Vinch is going to disagree with me, by the way. He's got 4 on wood, so he...
Vinch just shot killed his boar.
Yikes, dude. Vinchester.
I don't know if that was like miscalculation or if that was the TC bug. I'm going to go back and check.
I think he shot it multiple times because it didn't follow him originally.
Yes, it was at 66 HP when it was coming in.
Yeah, so he shot it 3 times with the Vil.
No. It would have died anyway. He had 5 Vils in the TC. I think.
Oh yeah, you're right.
He thought he garrisoned 4, and he actually garrisoned 5.
Yeah, you're correct. Yeah.
Oh boy.
It doesn't matter how many times he originally shot it.
So he had a miscalculation with the amount of villagers he selected.
I mean, it's funny. Like 3 years ago when this started, and people started to do this, I would say a lot. Why even take the risk?
Yep.
But now everyone does it.
It's so much more consistent.
And it's so much more consistent now.
Yeah.
So now it's like, I get why people do it, but that risk is still there, and that's just rough.
You will get tons of people out in the chat now. The people that are in the camp of, oh, why do people ever do this? It's never worth it because 1 in 100 boars will die to the TC. You know?
Nah, it's worth it.
And they'll have a field day with this one. It's definitely worth it. It's so much more consistent than the other way, and you save a lot of villager time.
Yeah. Now, there is a bug right now in Vinchester's defense. Now, we don't know, so let's not go off and, oh, the devs. We don't, we're just speculating. But there is a bug right now where sometimes the options to allow your TC to set the rally point don't show up randomly. So maybe that happened to Vinch there, and he tried to press the button and it just didn't give him the option, and so it kept firing. We don't know, but he's down a boar. His opponent doesn't know it, but being down a boar really hurts you here, and he has to adapt to that now.
Yep. He's going to play a little bit more defensively initially. You can see the walls coming out already. It's honestly not the worst thing in the world. It feels terrible. You think you're kind of down right now if you're Vinchester, right? Mentally, you're thinking you're losing this game, but he can recover from this.
Yeah, it is interesting. Dude, like, it's so funny if you think back to a take you or I might have had like 3 years ago and then how the game's changed. Like, there's so many clips of me saying, why do people do this? Now every time I bring it up more, I'm doing it too.
I don't think I was ever against it. I don't know. Because I remember doing it on Nomad a lot, right? People used to do it on Nomad a lot.
Yeah, that's where it originated, right?
Yeah. As the 3 militia drush comes into the wood line, Vinchester pulls immediately. Maybe he miscounted here too. 3 militia instead of 2. Vinchester trying to save these vills. Sebastian trying to block, and he takes one. Oh, God.
Yeah, so
Does lose the scout, though.
Down a board, down a vill. Can't the militia just go in there, too? Oh, God. You're trapping him, but I don't know if that's good, Vinch, because your villager's still in there.
Gotta delete the wall. Can't get another one.
Well, I like the idea there from Vinchester to try and adapt to the situation. Nice opening there for Sebastian. And he actually kind of took a page out of Vinchester's book, right? Made the militia before clicking up to feudal, and now arrives to the next stage, up a vill, and will squeeze in some eco upgrades and some spearmen to start.
Vinch had a lot of idle time, too.
Oh, God.
2 villagers that built the stable were idle for so long. This villager's going to die. Oh, jeez. This is a disaster.
It's a shame, dude. It's a shame because there's still plenty of hope in a best of 9 when you go down 2 games. But when you see the boar the situation happen, and now this could snowball on Vinchester mentally a little bit. It really feels like some of these things that have happened to him have been in his control and just a bit unnecessary. But he'll clear up the drush, and, we'll take it from there. He's going to be on scouts. But Sebastian with the dream start here, game number 3.
Do you want to see Vinchester go? I want to see him go heavy feudal pressure now. Just screw it. See what you can do.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to delay the range. Okay, so here's my thinking. You either produce more scouts and stay all in, or you go for the range right away. But, like, honestly, yeah, you got to do something crazy. But this is the thing. Sebastian's not going to leave himself exposed. Like, you're up 2 vills. You're just going to wall up before you do anything. So it's kind of hard to justify full feudal if you can't break through walls. I wouldn't mind, like, he doesn't have full scouting of what's in Sebastian's walls, but I wouldn't mind him towering that gold and just trying to make it messy here.
Interesting decision there for Sebastian. Delete that wall.
Yeah,
he manages the spearman well. Vinchester does not run inside, and Vinchester is sending the vills forward, so he's of the same opinion. I mean, Sebastian is going to have to deal with a tower now, and he's adding this stable behind, so Sebastian knows Vinchester's in a position where he's going to have to try and do something in feudal age. He's getting ready for it.
I like this a lot. Sebastian's stable edition is great because he knows there's probably going to be skirms, but, like, in Vinchester's shoes, it is a little risky when you don't know about if there's a gold in the back. I think considering the circumstances.
Yeah, there's no risk here.
Considering exactly.
Go.
Yeah, you if he didn't lose those vills, if he didn't lose those boar, we see players never build this tower. But this is good. And Sebastian, he's not aware of it either, and it hits the wood line, and it also hits the goal. And also, he's trying to immediately counter tower, which is what you do against 2 vills. I don't think you should be doing this against 5 villagers forward, and he just doesn't know.
Especially with the scouts here threatening to come in. That wall is going to go down quite quickly. We have the skirmishers behind. Sebastian has lost a lot of HP on these vills. A lot of HP on these vills.
And and the tower's not going to work. And immediately, Dave, what we said's kind of paid off, right? Like, the decision to just send it is working here for Vinchester. What a momentum swing it would be for him emotionally if he could turn this around. He's in a really nice spot all of a sudden.
He might kill this tower. Like, he might kill this tower foundation. Let's see if Sebastian deletes it or not. He does.
He does.
Good job from Sebastian. Vinchester walling up that tower behind. Now Sebastian forced to go into scouts with Britons. The spearmen are being microed down, and the Magyar scouts are going to be better than the Briton ones, but they are very weak. Vinchester with an excellent recovery so far. Sebastian still alive, but Vinchester's kind of brought himself back into this game a little bit.
Yeah, that's really good from Vinch. Maybe a little wasteful near the tail end there to lose the scouts, but who cares? Your scouts are cheap. Your opponent doesn't have an archer ball anymore for you to worry about. And back at home, you've been untouched. So that's good stuff. I like it.
From Sebastian. Oh my goodness. If one scout gets in there. Ding, 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 ding.
And this is Vinch we're talking about. Like, Vinch is gonna make it happen. The skirms, Killaville. There we go.
They could kill more.
Sebastian needs to realize this and click those villagers to the other wood line here.
See if Vinchester's watching. No.
Vinchester's also not tracking the range right now. That's a big deal. Because Sebastian has no use for the archers in defense against this. He's going to send the archers forward. Vinchester had a bit of an issue with walling up in game 2.
Vinch has 4 skirms at home.
Yeah, that's true.
Waiting.
That's true.
It's just the scouts that are going to be the issue, right?
Yeah. Vinch is trying to get his walls down. He's pulling quite a few vills for this. I'm not seeing any holes except for the front of his base near the TC, but it would be risky for archers to dive through there. Sebastian is going to hope that there's openings. Oh, Dave, is there a hole between the tree and the house on Vinchester's wood line?
I don't think so.
I hope. Oh, there's not actually. If you go to Fog of War from Sebastian, you can see the little tree. So yeah, that should be fine for Vinch. Sebastian walling. Sebastian actually re-walling so he could find another gold, which Vinch will now notice. And here goes the archers, and here goes the scouts. Vinchester needs to defend from this. There's no spears around. No, I'm sorry. He does have a spear. I think he should
be fine. Yeah, he's fine. Yeah. And the secondary gold is under threat, and Sebastian's got 600 food in the bank, but a really awkward spot.
Yeah.
Without a market, he's making one right now, and he doesn't really have consistent gold supply, and suddenly Sebastian goes from such a comfortable position to being like, oh my god.
Everyone
like,
has
I'm kind of stuck.
Everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face, right? And
yep.
Vinchester punched himself in the face and then punched Sebastian in the face even harder.
Dude, he hoofed that boar, man. He really got him.
I love it. It is funny, though. Like, I'm pretty certain that Vinchester never does this if he doesn't screw himself over with the boar. And look at this. Vinch has been on this stone. Sebastian's trying to sneak out there. Vinchester notices that, dude.
Vinchester pulls away, and he's bringing his scouts over here, and he's kind of saying, like, okay, I think Sebastian doesn't fully realize I'm there. I might be able to sneak over and find value.
Sebastian's like, he was here. I mean, Sebastian should immediately tower it. Or run, because the scouts are here. And oh my god, the archers for Sebastian just got picked off by the skirms too. This is suddenly okay for Vinchester. Dude, if Vinch...
Not a lot of gold for Vinch, though.
If Vinch towers...
just went on gold.
Like, I was thinking he would tower next to the scouts to break in. It could be...
Tower on the farms, I think.
Really good. Yeah, towers anywhere, honestly, to get map control. What in the world are we witnessing? First time this series, I think, that, like, Sebastian situation... There's been any type of struggle for him with what Vinchester's thrown at him, honestly.
Sebastian has re-walled on the right side, so he's back on that gold to a certain extent. Still very limited for gold supply, and it's another counter tower from him. Vinchester will like the looks of this, honestly. If you can force out the counter tower and delay the TCs from being added, like... really, really solid. Yeah,
no stone for a second TC, which is what Britons want to do, and then no gold, really, to make knights. And he has to actually stonewall because this feudal age army is breaking through so quickly here.
He can't make any more stone walls because he's only got 3 in the bank, so...
That stone wall piece is going to go down, actually, Dave. Like, these units are going to be in, and this will be devastating for Sebastian, who's going for a siege workshop without... long-term gold income, remember, so...
Scouts are in?
Scouts are in. Oh, man. Great for Vinch. Vinch hasn't clicked up yet, by the way, but if those scouts could get through, could end the game.
It feels like Vinch thought he clicked up. His TC is idle right now.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. All right, second TC for Sebastian as he tries to survive this. He does shoot down the forward tower from Vinch. Vinch is probably scared that there could be knights right now. So he's going to get out of there with the skirms and the vills, and he's adding spears because of that.
He sees the siege workshop too, and he needs to leave, but he also sees the TC, I believe, on the stone. So he's coming over there, and the siege workshop is on the wrong side of the base for Sebastian to defend that area. This mangonel, there's a delay for this mangonel to get over here as the market wall comes up from Sebastian. The house walls, I like that. He does lose the villager, but he should be able to get this town center up, but that's an insta target. I think you make the siege workshop in Castle Age right away if you're Vinch when you see this this TC.
When do we see like market and housewalling to complete a TC against 14 feudal age skirmishers and 1 spearman? It's such a ridiculous situation there. Vinch actually kind of blocking off the villagers here. Sebastian kills his own vill with the mangonel. And Sebastian completes the TC. I like how Sebastian's staying on stone. I think planning around the castle is perfect if you're expecting to be siege push. So let's see if he can get himself out of this one, though. He can take gold again. He re-walled, so he could shift over there.
There is still a villager forward. I'm surprised we haven't seen... oh, he's not in castle.
He's not in castle yet. Where is the vill, by the way? In the tower. In the tower,
yeah.
Okay.
He's sending 4 more villagers. Interesting.
It's just that It's just that YOLO energy now, man.
Oh my god, so many resources in the bank for Vinch. So many resources. He gets the wood upgrade, Q's knights. He could go for the +2 armor right now. Already has iron casting initially. Could go for light cav as well. Like, it's just...
Vinch, don't lose the skirms.
Get so many techs.
Vinch, don't lose the skirms. The skirms will be very useful here long term against pikes and also against longbows, which we may actually see. And villagers will complete the siege workshop. Skirmishers back away. Vinch has killed 4 vills. Resources collected. Much closer than we thought it would be. I wasn't even certain that this game would be close come Castle Age, but it's reasonably close. I think advantage Sebastian, though. He's got a good army, and he will soon build up towards the castle with 3 TCs behind.
And we'll see. He can add extra... farms, I guess, with 700 wood in the bank. Yeah. I wonder what he's doing with that. He's going for a monastery.
Vinchester...
So much wood.
Vinchester really thinking, like, where can I pressure now? The siege and the pikes protect this side. He wants to deny the gold, but the TC's going to be up, so that'll be awkward. Doable, but awkward. And he can't break through the walls.
Gonna get in here. Light cav are going to get in here, and they have iron casting. That's some dead vills from Sebastian. Vinchester is stuck on the market. How is he stuck there?
Dave, I don't even know.
Ran through.
There's a market. What? I don't know where. The light cav died on the market. There's so many things to look at.
Vinchester tried to run through to that wood line, and his units got stuck on the edge of the market. One of them ran through, so there was a hole there. As the castle comes up from Sebastian, it could have been a huge raid. Should have been a huge moment. It wasn't.
Oh, man, but pikes just went down to the mangonel. And these are Magyar Knights. And I think, if you know the castle's going to go up anyways, you just want to get as many kills as possible. And the units aren't attacking. This could be a doubt castle here. There's hill advantage. The villagers are getting slaughtered. Vinchester with the villager lead. Sebastian needs this castle right now, or it's 2-1 Vinchester. And it's going to be
not going up.
Denied.
It's not going up. Not right now. It will go up eventually, but not right now. Oh, boy. 98.5% more villagers coming along. She might get a hit on it. Nope. And GG flies in. Unbelievable comeback.
Wow. Crazy.
Vinchester there.
Yeah. I mean, listen, things went wrong, and he got past it, and now it's 2-1, and suddenly the belief starts to seep in for Vinchester. What a great job from him there. I mean, Sebastian had the dream start. He killed villagers with the drush. He had the walls down, but when that tower came up, it started to unravel him little by little. And he had to adapt into a situation that we haven't really seen Sebastian in many times. So, well played to Vinchester there. Now, you said the units went through this market here. Did that decide how this situation played out?
Well, there was 5 light cav attacking the wall.
Yeah.
Right? And then you see them come in, and I'm not certain if that was closed or not, but one of them snuck through. Okay. Basically. And the other ones were stuck.
Yeah. That is definitely it's walled up. And
Okay.
that unit did teleport through, which really hurt Sebastian there. Damn. It may,
Okay.
may not have changed the game, but Sebastian
No.
lost vills there that he wouldn't have, and he probably had to react to that.
I thought it was open, and the light cav were stuck on the edge of the market. That's why I was freaking out, because
Yeah,
it would
yeah,
have
yeah.
been such a massive raid there. But if it's closed and that's a bug, okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, that's a thanks to E moment there. Again,
Yeah.
it did seem like with the amount of pressure that Vinchester had coming, he probably still denies the castle anyways. But yeah, hopefully that gets patched out at some point. But 2-1. I mean, I was worried this was going to be a 3-0 situation and Vinchester would lose hope, but that was a big one
That's
for
the
him.
classic, dude, where you get lamed or you lame yourself by shooting your own board and you still somehow manage to win the game.
Aztec Slabs here. Oh, man. All right, game 4. And, I mean, things were looking pretty rough for Vinchester. Felt as though maybe this was not going to be his day. But true to the semifinals, the player who loses the first 2 games responded in game 3. And we've got a fairly open map here. The woodlines are much smaller for Vinch, it feels like. There's that one woodline. I think it was supposed to be
It's
2
very
separate,
open for him.
and they're connected for Sebastian. So
This map for Vinchester kind of sucks.
I love the gold situation and the stone situation in the back, but it's going to take some time for that to matter. But what it does tell him, and this is what he used in game number 3, is he's got to be aggressive here, right? He's not going to be walling up. He's going to have to be on the front foot.
Do you go for a drush here to try and keep the Aztecs in and delay them? Or do you think they're going to be hitting you with one?
Honestly, I could see Vinchester going archers. Archers into scouts could feel pretty good here. And I also, oddly enough, feel like the slab opening is not horrible with it because you get the pop space from your barracks in your range. And I know that's weird, but it does feel nice on an archer build to have that.
Yeah, I think the problem for Vinch is like he's going to have to buy time to lock down this map because this map is junk, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you got to get some walls in so you can force the fights into your archers instead of just chasing all the time.
Vinch is just...
That's why I like the drush.
Vinch is just not a scout player, typically. He did it in game 3, but it's like drush into archers, or like even the Frank game, he's on archer pike. He's a bit unorthodox in that way, so... He might be going for the build you mentioned, though, because so build 2 houses, he'll eventually have the wood. I think it does feel more like a mill than anything, but he's pushing in his deer. Sebastian will see his map, his own map, and he will make judgments on how he will play this, because usually the opponent has the same type of map. And so he's probably immediately envisioning walls in an oval to protect the gold and to the woodlines, but he doesn't know that Vinchester's map looks like this right now.
Okay, Vinch Garrison 4 this time around, and then the final one for the third volley.
Yeah. So it's for those that don't do it.
He probably shift clicked all of those villagers one at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4.
he paid a lot more attention to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. For those that don't know, it's if you put 4 villagers in the TC, you could do 3 volleys.
3. Yeah.
And then eject. If it's 5 villagers or 6 villagers in the TC, it's 2 volleys.
But if you put 4 in there and you're luring with 1, you can do 2 volleys with 4 and then garrison that 1, and you get the third volley. You won't kill the boar.
You can go 4, 4, 5. Basically.
If you haven't shot it multiple times, bringing it in.
I think
then
this description. I think this description is already enough for some people to say nope. Nope.
Yeah.
This is too much detail.
Instructions unclear. 5 boars dead under my TC.
Yeah, it's just way too specific.
Yeah.
Vinchester getting some walls down, and Sebastian building his barracks. He's going to click up here, it looks like, but it does feel like militia will come after the fact, which is to be expected from the Aztecs in many ways.
Just remember, 4 is 3, good enough for me.
And I'm still trying to think of a way I can utilize this phrase you taught me. What in the face?
Feed face. It's really applicable, dude. If you play like BRs or whatever, like in Apex, for example, if some guy just sends it, he's feeding face.
That is
and it makes him sound like an idiot.
saying feed face makes you sound like an idiot.
No.
Okay. I mean, I'll think about it. It's still new to me, you know? I'm still warming up to the idea. I'm not saying that you just came up with this out of the blue. I'm just questioning who you hang out with when we're not casting, you know?
I don't hang out with anyone, man.
So you
My own mind.
You're just talking to yourself and talking about feeding face?
Feed face.
Okay.
Also applies to professional eating competitions.
I was gonna say, is this like Joey Chestnut feeding face?
Dude, what a controversy with Joey. Jeez.
Oh man,
the guy was.
We haven't talked about it. Yeah.
I didn't even know who he was, but he's on my Twitter timeline every day.
Oh, dude, I know Joey Chestnut. I've never watched any of these competitions whatsoever, but I somehow know Joey Chestnut. I'm pretty sure they put that in like the American handbook.
The guy who won it this year apparently ate like 15 less hot dogs than he did after he wasn't allowed at the competition.
What are we doing?
Yeah, I know.
What are we doing?
Men at Arms coming in.
Yeah, Wall's coming up for Vinch. Uh-oh. Vinch didn't know it was Man at Arms, and he had it set up, and he just thought, ooh, let's go for some full walls here, but he notices last minute. Stable. He can stand on the corner and build,
boy.
Maybe? Yeah, Stable's
still within range of the TC. It's fine.
Yeah, Stable's going to complete. Okay. I think if Sebastian would have fed his face there, he would have gotten a villager kill.
Yep. I like the urgency in getting the walls up for Vinchester.
Yep.
Because this map, if you let that southern area stay open on your berries, you're basically never going to take those because Sebastian is going to be around there all the time. So he walls in front of those, and then he goes for the wall in the north as well, and he's just going to focus all of this energy from Sebastian on this one little area, and then he can go for the range to defend behind his walls. So it's really, really nice.
Vinch does not know where Sebastian is. He knows where Sebastian is not. I think he has an idea Sebastian's probably to the north of this 4-tile gold. But yeah, the full walls have really paid off here. I agree with you, and makes it more difficult for Sebastian to find value from the Man-at-Arms.
I want to see a full-on monk war here between these two in Castle Age. Just full clown. I would love that.
I don't think you're going to get your wish. But I do think monks become really important here on both sides, regardless. Just getting the relics, obviously, but... I mean, we saw how Sebastian used monks with the Tatars to swing fights. Like, a couple monks can really help a big knight army or eagle or pikeman army. You might see from the Aztecs.
Any weak fills? Not really.
No weak vills. There's weak palisades, though, and Sebastian just on time goes over to build those. That's something that I also wouldn't suggest to most people. It's just like the tiny little clicks on the palisades, because you're not going to have the reaction time to get there like Sebastian just did. Ooh, this is kind of a big deal. So Vinchester has not gone to gold, right? And he made an archer. He's going to go archer and now the rest skirmishers, but he spent his gold on that archer, so no fletching available for him until he mines more gold.
I really don't like the fact that Vinch isn't using the scouts to try and cut off the reinforcements. Like, Sebastian is just sending these without spearmen.
He's trying to stop a full wall right now, is what he's trying to do, because he knows how Aztecs want to do that. It should happen soon, right? Like, right now, Sebastian's got a lot of focus on the front. Sebastian might send a villager out there to wall here over the next couple moments, and Vinch's scouts actually have now moved this way. And Sebastian spots him.
Vinch is, like, really, really playing the eco approach here. He's not producing that much.
Yeah, it's true.
Made 2 scouts. It's a couple skirms along the way. No fletching, right? Got the farm upgrade. And he's got 12 slab farms. Now he can kind of sit on this hill and defend. I mean, he's really, really cutting it close. Because if at any point Sebastian gets in here, he's cooked.
And he can't get fletching. So that's not an option for him. The archers are on the hill there for Sebastian. Beautiful play from Vinch not to lose that vill. Pulling the villagers away perfectly. But not an ideal situation. I suppose the positive would be you still are slabs and you've got that many farms. So you don't necessarily need the berries. You just can't be losing vills here. Scouts for Vinchester. Like, I'd like to see the scouts come in even as a distraction right now. But he can't even think to grab those scouts because he's still microing away the villagers. And again, he does it, Dave. Again, he doesn't lose a vill. I probably jinxed him. Now he loses one.
You jinxed him so hard, dude.
Yeah.
Why'd you do that?
Sorry.
2 vills.
2 vills down. It's felt greedy. Really has. Vinch finally making the blacksmith. Nice job from Sebastian to really pressure here, right?
He might lose a vill on the wall here. It's going to be a wall attempt. Sebastian could maybe quick wall this in. Vinchester goes through the wall. Okay.
He just clicked out assuming it would go to where the walls are happening. That is so funny.
But Sebastian's going to lose this whole army here, I think. Vinch will wall that in. Let's see if Sebastian can snipe another villager. He does. He's got some value. The scouts will go down, but the skirms are here. And the skirms should be able to take care of the archers.
As long as Sebastian gets his walls down, he's very happy with how this went. 3 villagers killed. The efficiency and the idle time was so much worse, or I guess so much higher for Vinchester. And, Vinch also isn't completely walled, right? The gold is still a big issue for him long term, so he's going to have
these archers doing out here?
Continue to wall Sebastian up. Maybe he forgot about them.
I think he did.
Yeah.
He definitely did.
Feels weird for us to say that in a final, but he was so focused elsewhere, and then he immediately shifted his focus to the next step and his walls at home. So he should be able to get home. And at this point, he's queuing up some eagles. So like Eagle Archer Monk, kind of complicated for the Slavs. I think the Slavs would love to be on Skirm Light Cav or Skirm Knight, though, and that's still doable for Vinch.
I don't feel terrible playing up against Eagles with Slavs.
Agreed.
Feels like a civ that can, they can defend.
I feel Slavs struggle in situations where they need to rely on their skirms the most.
Mm-hmm.
And if they
like
don't...
against cab archers.
Yeah, like archer civs... mobile archer civs, exactly, right? Because even against like archer civs, you can still go cheap siege. But against eagles, you have the tools for that. But you don't really see longswords just because of how slow they are until later in the game. So
you could just go like walls and maybe a few scorpions, some knights, something like that.
Yeah,
defend.
And we got.
He needs to complete the walls though. Like Vinchester's just sitting here making the stables, microing these skirms here, trying to take out the archers that Sebastian's not really switching into, and he's not completing his walls, which he needs to do.
Vinch is a true Arabia player. He's like, I'm gonna micro my armies first and foremost, and then I will wall. But I agree. Like, need to make sure you're full wall. He's actually gonna go 3 stables. Whoa. And I think his walls will go down. And the army for Sebastian is very, very weak if it doesn't get through. And also, Vinch is not going to have to make a house for a long time. His farms have been insane with the Slavs here. He's got, what, 5 military buildings? Plus, he's got, like, tons of houses. Crazy.
Make sure there's houses or a double palisade wall behind all of this. Because they won't last very long. Like, there's one in the left corner wall. He should probably house behind. He should probably house wall behind all of these palisades or double palisade.
Laughing because Sebastian goes forward and he kind of did a double take. 3 staples? 3? What in the world? And he sees the scouts now too. Because like 3 stables makes you immediately think you need monks.
900
you gotta be careful.
Gold in the bank for Vinch.
That's fine.
And
though.
no market.
Yeah, he's got, I think he pulled off of gold. He used to have a lot more. That'll be spent pretty quickly, I imagine. I agree that a market would always help in these scenarios, but I think the second TC can still come up at a reasonable time. But I think eco upgrades over second TC, if you had to choose. Maybe he'll get to both.
He got 3 stables up, and then he made 3 knights, and now he has no food.
Yeah, but they're also houses, bro. That's huge.
Ah,
gives you pop space too.
Ah,
that is one of the most subtle, satisfying bonuses for me.
Well, I like it as a team bonus.
Yeah, yeah,
great.
True.
Fantastic.
Did you ever see that clip where MBL and Nilly were playing deathmatch together? And it was 2v2, and MBL told Nilly that he was Slav, so Nilly didn't make houses. but MBL is actually Magyars because it's the
I
same
did see that,
architecture.
Yeah, I did see that.
So they lost because Nilly they both got super pop capped because MBL got the Civ wrong.
Oh, great snipe from Vinch there on the Monk. And he's going to kill some Bills here with these Knights. Such value from these first 3 Knights. That's crazy. And the scouts are so active.
And if they continue to be active, they might even find another monk kill. That was insane. And that is
Don't tell me
why
he gets away with all of these. Oh my god.
that's why you got a full wall, dude. Because against Vinchester or Sebastian, you just cannot allow players with mobile units to get into your base like that.
What you were telling me that all this gold is going to be gone, right?
Well, yeah.
He's got even more now.
Food's more of an issue.
He's got to heal up these Knights. He can't lose these Knights. No, dude, not like this, Vinchester.
Well, he's going to spend the gold on more Knights.
Sebastian was thinking of coming forward, too. He had villagers out there.
Yep, fights didn't work out too well for him. So, Sebastian, in order to get here, initially set up his eco very gold heavy. Used the market a lot to buy food. Now he's shifting into more of that food eco. And this would seem like a good time to go for the pikeman upgrade instead of eagles. I really just think players are too stubborn sometimes, continuing to make eagles. I'd like to see pikes mixed in with the monks. Provided your eco is set up to do it, which, I mean, with Aztecs having this many farms, I think he's set up to do it. And eventually we could see longswords for Vinch, but the monks are going to be what scares off longswords more than anything. So you need to still try and whittle down that monk number right now if you're Vinchester.
Yep. Also, got to try and get the relics, right? Sebastian's probably going to get 3 here, 4, actually. Grabbing another one. Vinchester sending Knights out in that direction. But the monk might get away. Let's see.
Oh, man.
Vinch misses the monk. Oh, God.
He didn't know there was a relic there, which means he'll probably never look for that.
Oh, he's got a light cav in the middle. He might find the monk.
And that's where the rally point was set. Still looking around. He's like trying to raid the backside, which I totally get, but he's going to find there's nothing back there. Like he's got to push the front of Sebastian's base. That's where all the wood, gold, and stone is, and there will be a third TC there for Sebastian when he gets there.
Sebastian might get 5 relics with Aztecs.
That's crazy. Especially since Vinchester had scouts on the field. It definitely feels like something that maybe shouldn't have happened here. Vinchester was active with his scouts, did so well with the scouts, but you have to know where the relics are.
This monk from Sebastian just took the most roundabout way to dodge around all those units from Vinchester, and he's coming back.
Did he react actively, or was it just the waypoints he set originally?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Because he probably just set waypoints on the minimap and called it a day. So 33% more gold per relic. If the Aztecs get 4, usually you have big problems. But 70 vills for Vinchester and just 55 right now for Sebastian. So there is that.
I mean, relics are going to be huge, right? Aztecs is nice. He's got wheelbarrow as well with the second wood upgrade. And it's men-at-arms upgrade from Vinchester.
Ooh.
Vinchester, he's got a lot of vision on the map, and he only sees 1 relic right now. That's a terrible sign. Like, he's exploring with so many units.
Yeah,
and he can't find any relics, so he knows the position he's in right now. I mean, his opponent has snagged all of them.
Yeah, I like small things that Vinch does. I think you might need more army in the mix right now, but the knights patrolling the stone and the wood could add up at some point. But he's got to fight this main force soon, because if this waltzes over to his base with some siege, he's gonna be having some trouble, and that's why he's prepping the barracks and also the siege workshop. Dude, we are gonna have a massive castle age engagement here.
Sebastian might be imp.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
relics are nice, bro. He's already got 650 gold from
that's
them.
crazy. Yeah, that's crazy that he's already up. His macro is just insane. Just the balance of it all, right? He has 67 vills, and he already has the balance to click imp. Kill the monk. That's the only relic that Vinchester was really able to find.
He's not going to get it.
But he's not going to be able to stop Sebastian from taking that one. What in the world? Here come the scorpions and the longswords. The longswords mean business. They're great against the Eagles. They're great against the Pikes. The Scorpions are too. So
and Vinchester hides them. He saw that villager. He pulled the longswords back from them.
Yeah, and I mean, for all the positives of Sebastian, he hasn't scouted Vinchester's base much, right? He's done no damage to Vinchester and Castle Age. So he's allowed Vinchester to cook a little bit here with the slab farms. And Vinch is on the prowl here. Almost kills the monk.
Castle forward here is what Vinchester needs.
Yeah.
Probably right on that TC, right on that gold. Or maybe on the farms, potentially. Maybe if he could pressure that monastery.
I think when he went by the Siege Workshop and saw the flag, he should be scared to move forward with his Scorpions.
Maybe, yeah.
So you might not want to go there. I mean, the hill he's sitting on would be good if it was an imp race.
Here come the Vills. It's going to go right up against the barracks, potentially. It's not going to be an imp race, and he might realize that a little bit too late after he places this castle, but...
It's still a position he could hold. Like, where is Sebastian supposed to treb from? You'd have to treb from pretty far away, so... Or sorry, pretty close by. So I think it's a nice hill. And then he'll see Sebastian's up, but Sebastian still doesn't have a direct answer to all this army.
This could be okay for Vinch. I mean, Sebastian still has the relics.
5 relics.
An obscene amount of gold with Aztecs. But Vinchester's on the way to him. He's got, 25 more villagers. He's still patrolling the right side, so he knows exactly where Sebastian is. And Sebastian doesn't really know anything about Vinch's position right now because he hasn't been over there in a very long time.
Sebastian is incredible, right? We've established that. But he does have a small problem, I think. And he doesn't have a lot of experience with certain matchups. And if he's not making knights, if he's not making archers, I find he gets stuck a little bit on knowing what to do. And this is a situation now where he's seen longswords. He knows there's a castle on the hill. And he's got the relics. He's done great. But I think he's kind of thinking, what do I make against this? And I'm not sure what to suggest. I'm actually thinking maybe Jags. One of the rare instances where you could go for Jags. But that feels like maybe too big of a risk when Slavs could just make Boyars then.
Yeah. Really, really tough late game Civ matchup for the Aztecs, right?
He's going for Elite Eagle, which is absolutely not it against the champion line. But if he can get into Vinchester's base, Vinchester's looking everywhere else. Vinchester's not expecting to be hit.
Here. As soon as he sees this, stone walls or something in front, and then a castle defensively behind.
There's a treb, though,
and he sees it right away.
Does he know the treb's there? Because if you drop the castle, maybe drop the castle deeper in your eco.
Yeah, castle by the gold there.
Yeah.
He's not doing it. He's pulling army over. He's trying to pull his knights over, trying to pull his light cav over. And he's banking on this army to pull the army back from Sebastian, and it does for now, but those are elite eagles.
Is this fight acceptable for Vinch? He'll kill some monks. He'll kill the treb. This fight actually feels fine.
That's fine.
If his opponent doesn't have 5 relics.
Yep.
Because they're going to get that gold and come back. But nice hold from Vinch. It felt like he had to do something there. Needs to click the two-handed swordsman upgrade. And then the champion upgrade. And he got units in. Longswords in, actually, to Sebastian's eco. Sebastian didn't notice that. Sebastian lost a lot of villagers in there.
Yeah, he raided really, really nicely while all of that was happening. Sebastian, though, still with a ton of army. He's pushing it forward, but the Eagles are really struggling against not only the longswords, but also the Boyars now.
Yeah. No armor upgrades researched for Vinchester until now for the infantry. And there's just so much army for Sebastian. Eagles get through in multiple areas. He split up there, and Vinch is thinking about a very defensive castle. Now Boyars and Knights that were converted, and the Pikemen and the Eagles that were converted are going through, and Vinchester's just falling apart, man.
Oh, it's a flood.
Oh.
It's an absolute flood in here. I still think he should have made a defensive castle at home. He's forced to make it way further back now, and the Eagles are still raiding his gold. This is the way that Sebastian wins from this position, right? He gets through the walls before Vinchester has time to get all the techs in.
Look at the amount of army he has. Like, he's just produced like crazy here.
Yep. There is a risk, though. If Vinchester stabilizes here, like, the army numbers are great, sure, but if Vinch gets all his techs, the Aztecs are going to be
Dude,
They're
Sebastian
gonna
even
struggle
found the
a little
gold.
bit.
Sebastian even found the neutral gold in the middle. To avoid the castle and look for that when you're already doing so well here, super impressive. You're right, though. Fighting up against the two-handed swordsman is not what the Eagles and Pikemen really want to do.
Oh, they just feasted there.
And the
Oh my
two-handed
goodness.
swordsman might be the answer. Treb goes down for Vinchester, though. He did lose that to the Eagles. Scorpion's going down to these Eagles. 44 villagers killed from Sebastian this game. But I think you have to go Jags now, actually. Jags, or I guess he's going to go Monks. But you need something more than just Elite Eagles eventually. I think.
Eventually, yeah. Eventually. But the monks also help as well. If you just keep raiding,
Yeah.
the Eagles will find value.
Yeah, and Vinch's eco is underneath Treb's right now, right? It's not as if he's fully stabilized. He barely has wood right now to really add more farms or add more military buildings if he loses them. No stone access. Gold is kind of questionable as well in some ways. And there are a couple Jags. The nice thing about Jags is they have decent enough stats compared to two-handed swordsmen, even if they're not elite. So you can just mix them in with the Eagles and get the job done. And yeah, Vinch is falling apart right now.
Yep. Just the timing from Sebastian up to Imp was incredible.
Yeah, it took Vinch some time to get going with any type of pressure there, right? But I really would never expect a 67 villager Imp, which is what this was from Sebastian. It's crazy.
So fast grabbing the relics. They definitely helped him get up there.
Yeah.
That quickly.
3K gold in a game where he's collected 40,000 resources. That's pretty big for just relics.
Oh, now he rolls the 3 trebs over to take out that castle in the middle, and he's got the monks to support. This is over.
Yeah. Any units that go in there get converted. There is still military support. Vinch is trying to get a raid in here on the gold. Nice idea. But his eco is still in a really bad spot. And more villagers going down in the middle now for Vinch because Sebastian continues to camp the gold spot. What a great job. And now the monks too, getting conversions, castle down. Vinch is probably like, what in the world, man? He's still making eagles. I'm dying to eagles. What is this?
Well, there is the occasional Jags.
Yep.
In that fight, right? And Vinchester calls the GG. Sebastian gonna take that one with a super impressive imp time. I think a better opening to the game. Vinchester got greedy, trying to get the walls up, and he lost a few villagers to the archers there initially. But yeah, it was all about gathering the relics and then getting up to imp that quick. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I think so I agree. It was greedy from Vinch in early feudal. He got punished and lost the vills. But Sebastian lost a lot of villagers in early castle, right? So I felt at that point, okay, this game is close. Remember, Vinch always had more vills in Castle Age 2, which is crazy. But Vinch needed light cav on the sides patrolling the relics. He needed 3 to 4 light cav just moving around and contesting that. And maybe then if it's like 3 to 2 relic count for Vinch, 20 villager lead, Sebastian doesn't have the resources to click up, but yeah, that's not something you see every day these days, the Aztecs dominating like that. But 4,000 or 3,000 gold brought in from the relics, and good enough fights for Sebastian. Again, weird trades, right? You look at Eagles against two-handed swordsmen. It's not anything I would suggest, but it was all about the timing and the momentum. All right, Vinch needs to get one on the board here, I think, right? You go down 4-1. Having to win 4 straight is really a tall task. I'm trying to remember Vinchester against Veleza Titans League Season 1. Wasn't it like a reverse sweep situation there for a bit?
I don't think it was a reverse sweep. Maybe it was like 3-1 or something.
I think maybe Vinch was up 3-1.
I think, yeah, maybe.
Or I forget. Maybe someone could look it up for us, but it was a fun series.
I just remember the houseboat game.
I brought it up earlier in the day before we talked, and I was confused on if it was Wandering Warriors Cup or Titans League, because the games that stuck with me were the houseboat games. So, Khmer here for Sebastian, Vietnamese for Vinchester. What do you think about trying to steal some sheep here if you're Vinch? You're down 3-1, you're Vietnamese.
I mean, that's a big part of being the Vietnamese, right?
Yep.
You can see where your opponent is. You can go forward right away. He is on the front side there. And he's just going to continue around his base. Okay.
Yeah, it's funny. I think players will sometimes just take this as an opportunity to push more deer because they won't have to spend time trying to find their opponent. So, but yeah, I wouldn't mind to see a player when playing with Vietnamese at least going forward to the front. You don't have to do the full circle, but you never know. You might be able to steal 2 to 4 sheep and still be able to push in your deer. I'm not a big fan of
Sebastian's
Vinchester.
berries are yikes. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's good. We're thinking maps here. I mean, the golds.
Yep.
And maybe even the stones for Vinchester. Hugely problematic if this game goes long term, I'd say. Whereas lots of resources in the back for Sebastian. I definitely feel like Sebastian's had the slightly better maps in some of these games today.
Last game for sure. That map for Vinchester was not that great. He made it work, but it was not that great.
Yeah.
I agree. It's slightly favored towards Sebastian, but it's not to an outrageous extent. Sebastian could actually fish boom here if he wanted to.
There's a couple pawns on the map. I found it funny in that game he played against Sato where it was Frank's Portuguese that he had the experience to wall the pond. Because it's not something that's as common these days, walling to a woodline where there's a pond. And the people who were around back when that was common realized how many holes there could be.
You used to get woodlines that had like 3 trees left over because 2 ponds spawned in the middle of it. That was horrible.
Yeah. Also, do you remember the sheep spawns were so inconsistent? There would be situations where you'd have your woodline be a pond, and then your sheep would spawn on the shoreline between the trees and the pond. Like you'd spend like you'd have 6 villagers on berries before you find your sheep. Yeah, and then you're Chinese.
Yeah, and you were Chinese, so you had to build a mill first.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess when the map gens were really crazy, that's when I remember it just being mainly Hun Wars, to be honest, but still.
Well, I remember Migration, dude, where you'd have like a 1-tile peninsula out into the middle of the ocean and all 4 of your sheep are just chilling at the very edge of it. It's like, oh my God. And you're trying to go up at like 15 pop to hit them with galleys, and you're just like, oh my God.
It's great that we have, the sheep more balanced and the starting resources more balanced, so games aren't just won or lost on that. The thing that I really missed, which they have actually incorporated into this version of Arabia finally after years, is the big hills in the middle areas. And some of the gens, not this one, but some of the gens have had that. And I really like it because I think fighting for control over hills becomes more valuable with castles and neutral resources too. So, but yeah, maybe that's something one of these days we got to sit down and show people. It's just what some of those maps were in the past, because I don't think people realize these days it's like, oh my God, there's a 2-tile hill next to my gold, which is somewhat on the side of my base and behind my main stone.
Yep.
Oh no. What are we gonna do?
There was one King of the Desert, I think it was King of the Desert 2, and there was a game with Max where there wasn't a single woodline on his side of the map.
There were some bad ones in some King of the Desert.
Closest
dude.
one to him was
you remember
in the middle of the map?
Remember when Tato built 2 towers and covered all of his opponent's 3 golds? Yeah. There's just some bad ones. Look at Vinch's walls. Not walling to the edge of the map. He's walling on the backside. He's planning on scouts. Everyone and their mother would have expected scouts from the Khmer here. And that's just going to be the instant stable opening, which everyone expects. But again, they don't need to make the barracks. You think that sometimes that can be a weakness, right?
That's sometimes, yeah. Or a lot of the time it happens to hurt them because they're playing without full walls. They're playing with the confidence that they can garrison their villagers.
Yeah. Oh my God, Vinchester,
and
what have you done?
they don't have the spearmen. Vinchester manages that fine. Just kills it.
Yeah. Sebastian tried to steal. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you don't have the full walls and you're just trying to garrison your villagers and houses and you don't have spearmen, it means your army needs to be home at all times. Otherwise, your vills are stuck in the houses.
Yep.
And that means you can't be pressuring, right? So it's like if you full wall like Sebastian is doing, it can be fine to match up against it without the spearmen available. But if you play open, it can be a bit of an issue.
I think if you have your own walls right now, Vinchester, you got to push with the Spearman here. Push with the Spearman. And if the Khmer player has scouts and Spearman in their base, they then can no longer use their own scouts to defend. But it feels like Sebastian just going to get the timing right on some of this. Like right there, that's going to be fine for him on the berries. And yeah, he's committed. And this is a situation where not having Spearman in defense isn't an issue.
It's a lot of info for Vinch. Like, these are big walls.
Mm-hmm.
These are big, big walls that Sebastian is going for.
I'm surprised, like, maybe Vinch just didn't really have the resources floating perfectly for this, but he stopped at 2 scouts and never really went above that. Meanwhile, it's 5 scouts for Sebastian. I think some of that's the Civ. Khmer just dedicate all their resources to food pretty much after the stable, but I still do question that a little bit. But clearly Vinchester's approach was more of a passive one here because he walled up really early.
Yeah, and Vinch will see the walls extending to the wood line there. And if he tries to get in on the other side, he'll see these huge walls as well. So now it's decision time for Vinchester. It's like, am I just massing up archers here and trying to get up to Castle Age? Or am I going to keep making scouts?
He made one spear, dude. He made one spear. And he's not even walled in front of his gold right now.
Oh, my God.
Like, this is definitely something that would frustrate Vinchester fans. That one spear can easily be picked off. So, you know, he adds another one, and there's the second spear.
He's fine.
It actually stresses me out a little bit when these scenarios happen. But Sebastian got his walls down, and he runs in, and he sees the weak farmer, and
oh my God,
kills a Vil without losing a scout. Beautiful play.
You just assume that you're going to be safe because your villagers can teleport in, but then Sebastian body blocks the Vil on the farms, and Vinchester now down a villager.
Cool. This isn't too bad for Vinch. Kills a scout, has his own scouts home, but yeah, you're down a Vil, but the Vietnamese eco upgrades were really cheap, and I think Vinchester feels as though Vietnamese are strong enough to get to Castle Age. If he was worried about this matchup long term, he probably would have been more aggressive. But when I see the scoreline and I know how Sebastian likes to play, it's hard for me to doubt the guy when he's got the full walls and scouts.
Mm-hmm.
And Vinchester's not completely walled. Like, you have to make sure these scouts cannot run through. This could be light cav later on. This could be knights.
They're going to run through.
They're going to run through, kill the spear, run through, and Vinchester
disaster
is going to lose more. At least forced to make more spears.
Spearman. Okay.
Yep.
There is one more. He's forced to make another one. He'll probably lose a villager here.
Oh, the micro!
See.
Oh!
Yes! Gets him.
That was sick. He actually noticed the spear was going to attack that scout somehow. That's hard to notice. And it moved that other scout away. So 2 Vils killed. Scouts are weak, but doesn't really matter because Vinchester's scouts aren't going to find any value. And 2 Vils up
Sebastian's going to click up.
Yep. Does he put all these scouts on auto scout? Probably not, right?
Is this guy on auto scout is the question. No.
I think the
one weak one going in, he's dead.
Yeah,
now,
he's
so
dead.
It doesn't matter.
That was the scout the group didn't like. He was the outcast.
Vinchester getting fletching here, and Sebastian clicks up at the same time.
Do you remember, I forget if you watched it or even heard about it, it was Say My Name against Overtaken in, I think it was Warlords Qualifier, the one where...
I do remember that, yeah.
Okay, so the story goes, for those that don't remember, Say My Name, he was motivated to play in the Warlords 3 Qualifier. Then the bracket was generated, and he saw that if he won round 1 and round 2, that he would be up against ACCM in round 3. And so he went out drinking with his Age of Empires friends and apparently had 11 beers and then came home to play the series because he was basically like, I'll never beat ACCM. I don't care anymore. And so he was drunk and he beat Overtaken. And the games were wild. And at one point, he had like 6 scouts and he put them all on auto scout at the same time, dude. And they just disperse from this group and they all kind of go the same direction. It was so freaking funny, dude.
Hey, man. I'm a big Say My Name fan. I've liked him for a very long time. He's incredibly talented. I don't think he puts much preparation in or anything.
Yeah, he's just played the game a long time. He's got the talent. I don't think he has the Civ understanding or the prep, but the fact that he could still beat people who have the Civ understanding and the prep is crazy.
Light Cab comes in, Castle Age is in, and Vinchester's like, oh my god. Well, okay.
Yeah, and you're not in a position to immediately damage Sebastian. And Sebastian has prepped house walls all along the front. And is going to just be kind of turning this into a bit of an arena style, I guess, right? Like just light cav and boom. Vinch is going to try crossbow, though. Vinch will... Oh, Vinch is still 2 minutes away from being up?
Yep.
That's a crazy difference. Wow, I didn't realize that.
I mean, that's what happens when you click up to Castle Age at 15 minutes after opening scouts and full walls.
Yeah, and it's just... He never needed to add the range or get any blacksmith upgrades. It was never really harassed at all. Sebastian made it look very easy, but also Vinchester just had a very passive approach here in Feudal. It was never an aggressive approach at all.
It is going to be a lot of archers, though.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Vinchester is coming out with this force this early.
Well, he can click the light cav and see there's no upgrades, or very few upgrades.
True.
If armor's in, you, I think, worry a little bit more. And now he's probably
both just run
that
right past each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sebastian's looking for a way into Vinchester's base. Vinchester looking to get that forward position, but Sebastian, he's so good with this. Like, palisade walls, and then consistently behind all of them, house walls.
Yeah.
So there's no way in for the archers, except at the back, which would take a very, very long time for Vinchester to get
I swear
over
if these light cav get in, I'm just going to scream.
they're going to get in.
No. Oh, my goodness, dude. This is, come on. Oh, Vinchester, bro. Oh, no. I can't get the gate down either. Just more annoyance after annoyance, and maybe some fatigue. Maybe just things are not quite right now for Vinch.
This could be not good for Sebastian, though. If Vinchester clears all of this, Sebastian's not going to have much of an army left at all. And then he can't track Vinch. Vinch goes for the sick house walls. Sebastian trying to leave. Vinchester saying no.
It was part of the plan. It was calculated, dude.
Traps him in.
Gate.
Thumb ring also immediate.
And villagers
But he
here.
loses more bills.
Well, Sebastian is just he's gonna run in circles for as long as he can. So anyone thinking that this army is just gonna be killed right now is fooling themselves. This army is still gonna stay here. And these crossbows want to be advancing forward. And they still won't be able to. Sebastian says, oh, commit to that, Vil. Thank you. He runs in here. Maybe now he just commits for more Vils because he can't really micro much.
It's another one.
I'm not even bothered by the villager losses here for Vinch. I'm bothered by the fact his army can't move forward. That's the issue here.
Yep. And Sebastian has 3 TCs behind this. So now if you're Vinchester, you're like, okay, I'll add a TC on the gold, which Sebastian is, of course, going right to with the knight. And then I'm going to try and push forward. But if he's got the double layer walls, what are you doing?
Yep.
What can you do?
You're expecting Scorpion defense from the Khmer. And so I think crossbow mangonel is a really nice decision. The concern I have is the Vil discrepancy now. Because if you hit him right in early castle with mangonel crossbow, then he can't justify +2 armor on the knights. Then he can't like spam knights and scorpions all that well. But it's at a point now with 60 villagers and rising where I think Sebastian will be able to do that too.
He's grabbing the forward relic too. Like he's got one on the way back, and he grabbed the one near Vinchester's base.
Yeah, and he also has another light cav to the side.
Jeez, dude.
This isn't the type of game that Sebastian played a lot against Sato, right? He didn't have these boomy style games. I think maybe against Vinch, because he saw how Vinch played in the semi, he felt like he could do this and get away with it. I'm just impressed at the types of games and styles that Sebastian's been able to show in this tournament. He can kind of do it all. He could have the aggressive, messy games. And then here he's trying to defend, but this is a big army with Thumb Ring. So if he's not careful, especially with the Scorpions right now, this could get bad.
And he's got the Scorpions with the extra range, though, and Vinch is going to respect that. Another stable being added behind by Sebastian. And Sebastian's at 70 vills with 30 Khmer farms. Like, at some point, he's just going to be able to get all of his upgrades, and he's going to show up in a flood of knights coming out here. Let's see what damage Vinchester can do before that point. He still doesn't have ballistics on his crossbows.
Yeah, Vinchester prioritized Thumb Ring. Vinchester getting raided a little bit at home. He reacts to that. He's got a nice little hill here. Like, if he could... It's almost too close to the TC, but still, it's a nice position to hold. 30 villagers behind soon for Vinchester, though.
He does have a really efficient eco, though.
Yeah, and good upgrades.
In, second wood upgrades in, just missing heavy plow right now. Like Caver trying to get into the back of his base, but he's rewalling everything behind. And Vinchester has the market now. Resources are looking okay. Is it like some sort of faster Imperial type of play from him? Like a Leary style, you know, 2 TC, buy your way up and then go bombard cannons?
Well, he's not going to catch up economically, and he's not going to push and kill Sebastian now. So he's shifting out of the thinking that those are possibilities for him. But, and that's a fantastic micro from Vinchester. So if these archers could get imp upgrades, this could be nice. But the amount of knights that Sebastian's massing behind this, the amount of farms he has right now is just insane.
+2 armor, and it's go mode for Sebastian. And Vinchester, I think, senses this. He's like, I'm going to get out of here. University now coming up from Vinchester. He's missing the second building, so he can't click up right now. He has to wait for that university to come in.
Bro, I know Vietnamese have extra HP on their crossbows. I'm not sure it's enough for what's about to come. This is going to be a flood. This is going to
be sitting here.
This is going to be bad.
You got to go back. You got to wall to the edge of the map, number one, if you're Vinchester. And then come back with your crossbows and get ballistics.
Like, even if you make it to Imp, it's not even going to be 30 vills behind. It's going to be like 40 by then. I think Knights in Castle Age with this eco might even be able to push Imp Archers. We'll see. I've seen Vinch do some crazy things with fast Imp Archer, but Sebastian's on the prowl right now with +2 armor on the way.
Ballistics is incoming for Vinchester. He went for a second TC over on the right side. So that's going to be hard to raid for Sebastian because he got double TC fire. But the Knights are coming through the middle. The +2 armor is in. He's still producing from 4 or 5 stables behind. And the resources collected, I mean, you can see it. It's a huge, huge difference here in favor of Sebastian as Vinchester comes back with these crossbows. Going to try and deal with this.
This is crazy. Sebastian's just going to explode. Look at all the knights running forward, the scorpions. Monks are still grabbing relics. He leaves his base to drop more TCs. He hasn't killed a single crossbow yet. So, Vinch with 35 ARBs, if he can afford ARBs, could actually be pretty crazy.
Forward siege from Sebastian. I mean, he's going to try and, you know, make Vinchester sit at his own base while he booms behind. It's even a 4th TC from him.
Yeah.
Insane villager count right now. He's 40 villagers ahead.
It's a lot of crossbows. Vinchester feels like he needs this one, right? Going down 4-1 would mean he needs 4 wins straight to win the finals. He can barely afford... He has no easy gold access right now. He could barely afford it, but I think he can get Arbalest if he unqueues the vills and sells his wood.
Maybe.
I think you need Arb. The alternative would be chemistry, which is a bit cheaper, but that takes time. And here goes the dive.
Chemistry also gives you access to bombard cannons, but right now you're just trying to survive. You're not thinking about pushing. Oh no, Sebastian comes in with the Knights. He's underneath the TC. He's even going for Rams. He's got Scorpions behind, and he's got 5 stables producing Knights. And even in Imperial Age with Bracer, the crossbows just can't hold up.
Yeah, the Scorpions also brought in was kind of a nice thing. He's got Knights spreading into the eco now. And it's a 40 villager lead for Sebastian, so he can always continue to produce like this. There might be a point where he stops. There might be a point where he says, maybe I can try and click up to Imp. But
when he's floating 800 food, I think you can unqueue some.
Yeah.
And just go up and then start producing again. But he keeps up the queue. He keeps up the queue.
And he continues the raids. He's raiding the gold TC at the same time. Vinch is still just trying to micro this one group. Finally gets Arbalest now. But the Scorpions, Dave, the Scorpions might be able to get a couple volleys.
Oh, they do. Not much damage. Well,
Decent enough value, considering that's the only thing that Vinchester's fighting with right now.
Vinch knows it's over, man.
I think he does too.
He's
Maybe
just clicking buttons.
I mean, I keep thinking the night number is going to go down, and he's still got 20 of them. And yeah, there's only 11 ARBs for Vinchester. And a forward castle even from Sebastian. That's when you know you're confident. When you're not even on the way to Imp, and your opponent's in Imp, and you're not worried that he can ever treb that down. Really nice display from Sebastian, who was never troubled this game.
No, not at all.
It was the easiest game so far, I think.
I wasn't really like paying attention that much, but Vinchester just seemed so slow to Feudal Age. Maybe it was Sebastian was just quick to get the walls up.
He went 2 lumber. It was 20 pop, you know, but
Yeah.
it just, the approach from Vinch seemed very relaxed, like he wanted to get to Castle Age. And and then he took damage against the scouts, right? Like Sebastian did a great job to kill villagers in Vinchester's base, and then he boomed like a madman. But I want to stress this because we obviously have some question marks surrounding Vinch at this point. Remember how beastly Vinchester has played this entire tournament, how amazing he was in all the previous rounds, beating players that many people thought he would lose to. Sebastian just makes it look easy sometimes, and this is another example of it.
11,000 res collected ahead.
Yeah, and it probably
in
more
such a short game.
More of every type of resource. When he needed an upgrade or needed a unit, he had it. It was never too early. It was never too late. Sebastian, 1 win away now from winning this finals, which would be his biggest tournament performance in his young career compared to many of the other pros, compared to Vinch. Like, we were casting Vinch at a high level 10 years ago. Sebastian, 4 years ago, was like maybe 2K1, right? It's a crazy story in our scene right now, man. We got Hunts. All right. Well, Hunts have performed very well, at least in the last week or two in this tournament. Yep. And Vinchester picked them very high on his draft. It's going to be Huns against Lithuanians. Another Civ that was pretty high on Sebastian's draft. But Sebastian 1 win away from being the finalist of this Arabia-only tournament. Arabia, the map that most of the high-level players play in our scene. Arabia is kind of the standard. Sebastian setting the standard here.
And Sebastian's got an interesting map. His berries are forward in a really unfortunate position, but if you look at like the wall ability, he could definitely wall up, and against Huns, that's a very good thing. So Sebastian's going to be, fairly happy with this one. Vinchester, the gold's a little defended. I mean, he is coming forward with the scout, so he's going to try and lame right away.
I like it. I mean, we said it in the previous game when he was Vietnamese. It does kind of bother me that he is now doing this with Huns when in the previous game he knew where his opponent was. But you need a little bit of luck right now, or maybe a bit more information. I think you do 1 circle to find the opponent. If you don't get anything, you just go home. And you still probably got time to push some deer if that's your plan. But he is going to encounter a boar. It's a weird one because this is on the back of Sebastian's base. And so Sebastian might just assume that that would never be taken.
Vinch is going to look for his pathway out. If he can find a pathway out, maybe he goes and takes that.
It doesn't look like he has any interest here. Because if you steal a boar on the back, your opponent has so much more time to react and block you. Man, it would be just like Vinchester's day if Sebastian now goes forward and finds those 2 llamas.
Yeah, if he lames the boar and lames all the llamas, and then Vinchester still wins the game, that would be just like Vinchester's game or day today.
Yeah. Vinch goes forward first, doesn't find anything. Sebastian goes forward second, still hasn't found anything. I do think that Vinchester's map is a bit worse and more awkward to deal with here. However, you need to be put into the thinking of aggression with Huns anyways, and I think that helps Vinchester in some small ways.
Oh, Vinch gets a llama back. He gets both of them back. Okay.
Nice. You know what I kind of miss?
Vinch doesn't see a second boar.
Oh.
and it still hasn't
It
wandered.
might have.
I wonder if he saw that before. I
Yep.
don't know.
I was gonna say, I think if I had to guess, at one point he had vision on it, and it just wandered back into the darkness. So he should be fine.
I don't. Okay, yeah, he's sending the villager out. Okay.
Well, now he might have.
No,
He might not have known. And now he
This is
knows. There we go. Okay, so a really specific thing that I just thought of that has to do with llamas.
Yep.
So for a period, llamas had more vision, like one more tile more vision than sheep.
Yep.
And when I would start a game with Incas and get the free llama, I wouldn't eat the llama. I would scout with the llama and then eat a sheep. And they changed it because now llamas can spawn, right? They changed it so they all have the same vision. But I still scout with the llama when I'm Incas.
Okay.
Is your life enriched now that I've told you that? Has your day just gotten better?
I think they should have more vision. They have longer necks. Right? Like let's say you had like a horse scouting for you or a giraffe. Which one would you expect to have the giraffe?
That's fair, dude.
Obviously.
Also, I'm pretty certain a llama should be able to move faster than a sheep as well. Or a pig. I guess it depends what type of pig we're talking about.
I think the llama have more like upwards mobility. They're kind of like goats a little bit because they're born in like mountainous terrain. I'm just spitballing here, but I would imagine that they could go like up hills faster.
Is it llamas that can actually spitball, or is that alpacas, or both of them?
Oh, both of them spit. Yeah,
Okay.
llamas are nasty creatures.
Do you have any llama experiences, or just?
I was at a petting zoo and they spit at me.
All right, gotcha. I got headbutted by a goat once at a petting zoo.
Oh, goats are terrible too.
Yeah, not fun.
Awful. You're trying to feed the little animals and stuff, and every time this goat just shows up, just trying to eat your food, your kibble that you've bought.
My buddy had goats growing up, and they were always fine with us, except there was this one kid in the friend group that the goat just didn't like. And so we would let the goats out when he was around, and it would it would go after him.
What was his name? What was his name?
His name was Tim, and I kind of feel bad
Tim.
about it because Tim, looking
Classic
back,
Tim.
you look back, you're like, oh, we were kids. Tim didn't deserve that.
Imagine getting bullied by goats.
Oh man, it was a good time. Not for Tim, but for everybody else, it was a good time. So scouts for Vinch. And I assume the same for Sebastian. He can go up a little bit faster, being the Lithuanians. And also the one lumber camp build, which has been the play for Sebastian almost every time. And then Vinch loves his 2 lumber camp builds. I think it's 3 games in a row now.
I'm going to chalk that one off the bingo card. T90 counting lumber camp.
It's important.
Right in the corner.
It's important,
Right
man.
in the corner.
But I like the small wall approach from Vinch on this map against a fast scout rush. I think you just got to do it. Simplifies your approach. You could do it on the other lumber camp too. And you can't panic house wall with the Huns, so I think
That's
you
just
should
like, you got any llamas under that TC? got any llamas under there? Nope. You sure?
Sebastian going for the walls between his 2 wood lines. And you can start to envision the walls already for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's part of that is just the fact that you're building houses. So that helps you.
Oh, downhill hits on the berry villagers, maybe. It's got a spearman and a scout here.
Oh, God, the villager pathing that way has got to be so annoying for Vinch. And Sebastian's just going to block.
He's dead.
And that's a deadville.
Oh, man.
You can see what happened there. Like, he clearly clicked the villagers back at the same time, and the one just went the other direction.
Is there still a hole between the berries and the mill? That would be like, no, I don't think there is, but...
No, sometimes you can get the diagonal hit. And sometimes it's tough to click to build the palisade in those situations, but a villager shouldn't be able to be hit forever. Villager down for Vinch. But that's the only area that really should be exposed now. Everything else should be protected. And now his scouts go forward to Sebastian's base.
Sebastian's still making scouts, though. He's got scouts in defense, and he's got the faster spearmen if he makes some more. Feels like a situation where you want defensive spearmen as Vinchester comes in. He's going to try and take a villager.
Yeah. I was just going to compliment Sebastian for his confidence, but maybe a bit too confident there because he loses the 2 scouts. There's still good army control here from Vinchester. And this is dangerous.
Spearman. Yeah, he's waiting for that spearman forever. Really delayed making that. And, oh, Vinch almost takes another scout. That was a really good fight from Vinch.
And Vinch now goes to gold. Vinch loves his archer play. Open with the scouts here. And now there's the spearman. He wants the archers, but... Oh, that could have been worse. The scouts didn't attack there. I thought Sebastian was going to have him trapped.
Through. Yeah. He's going to send another scout. Maybe attempt to block here. The weak one just needs another hit, I believe, downhill. But that scout was scared and he paused. So Vinchester will be going for the blacksmith. He's massing up some archers behind. And he's still got some scouts on the field.
Really weird
Huns are
fight
dangerous
for Vinch.
once they ramp up their production. But yeah, that's a strange one.
I think maybe he wanted the weak scout in there and it repositioned from him. Vinch looking for tiny little edges in some of these fights and engagements. He's not hesitating to take engagements with lesser numbers. And that Vil
is okay.
She should be a farmer now. She can't be trusted.
Both players really focusing on military. Look at the idle TC time.
Yes.
At this stage of the game.
That's crazy.
A lot. Yeah.
It also, we've been at it for almost 3 hours now. So I think some level of fatigue should be expected. You have to factor that into anything at this point.
That's what she said.
4 archers, 5 scouts soon for Vinch. And everything except the farms and those 2 berry villagers are walled up. Obviously, you're not going to see the farms walled up. No full wall for Sebastian. I'm a little surprised because he's done that. But I love how he's able to kind of do it all. And maybe Vinch is expecting walls and is moving out because of it, because he's not expecting this many scouts to be out in the field.
That's a lot of scouts, man. And there's 2 more in the queue, too. Sebastian has no chill. And Sebastian, like, just not banking resources at all. Instantly goes into more production, right?
Yeah. Same for Vinch, too. Vinch getting fletching now. And moves forward right away.
Oh, without Spearman to support this either. Like, he's got 1 behind. Oh, boy.
I do wonder, though, because, like, if Sebastian comes through here and he doesn't see the army from Vinch, he's not full walled at home, so he might actually be concerned. He might turn around to go try and find that. Vinch is actually concerned now because I think he knows the army might come and find him, so he actually mixes in more spears, like you said, and his scouts go forward into Sebastian's base. Sebastian needs
Where's he really going to hit here, though? 1 spearman and this scout army needs to just stay away. There's nowhere to hit.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky. This is not the first time in this series where we've seen Vinch want scout archer and then Sebastian wants scout skirm. Sebastian hasn't even gone to gold yet. He seems really comfortable with this. And it makes sense with Lithuanians. The faster skirms and spears really give you some value in these fights.
Okay, there's a lot of spearmen here. A lot of spearmen now from both players. So they'll have to clear that up. You can look at Sebastian trying to micro those down. Vinchester's spearman being pulled away, but he will kill the spear from Sebastian. Now he can push back, and Sebastian's going to find it tough to take this fight without any spears of his own.
So Sebastian will kill off the spears with the skirms, and he has the hill. And this gets really micro-intensive here as both players get upgrades for their scouts.
Armor and forging. Okay.
I think Bloodlines could be a real game changer here. And that's not something that Sebastian can get just yet because he was later to the gold. I'd like to see it. I mean, I know Vinch wants more scout numbers, but this feels like Bloodlines, armor, forging, everything for the scouts. 12 scouts for Sebastian. He's consistently ahead in scout numbers, though. It's crazy.
Bloodlines coming in for Vinch.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Bloodlines is on the way in, and it's a second stable. Good. I like that. You're playing Huns. Make military.
Losing 2 archers isn't great, but they're going to take the
away
fight.
still.
No Bloodlines.
Oh, no. He pulls away. Okay.
Vinchester's units, half his units got caught up behind this. The skirms are killing off the archers. The fight is still close. Bloodlines comes in when Vinchester has 2 scouts remaining, Dave. I think he felt forced to stay in that fight because it already was kind of bad. And he didn't want it to be worse. If he doesn't take that,
his archers get sniped down one by one.
Exactly, yeah.
He has to take that to save the archers. I know you can sit there and, you know, think about the Bloodlines timing or whatever, but if you wait too long for Bloodlines, your archers are dead.
I think he's still actually... the situation's a little deceiving. I think if he can just sit here for a moment
Yeah, he's
and
got
get
2
to
stables.
4 scouts, he actually
Yeah.
can clear this up.
Yeah.
And Sebastian, yeah, this is not what you need though. If you're Vinch, like that right there, that's a new scout that's just gone down. You just gotta get up to 4 scouts yourself. You win the fight, and you're probably okay here.
Yeah, I think it's fine for Vinchester.
Unless more scouts follow up from Sebastian and he gets bloodlines, but he's still 20 seconds away from that. And yeah, this is still okay.
I'm surprised idle TC time is so high for these two.
They're I guess spending a lot of food,
Mm-hmm.
moving around a lot, lots of unit control. It's interesting that it's happened to both of them, right? So it must just be the type of game compared to some of the others.
Yeah, it's just that. Yeah. I mean, it feels like you're gonna have some idle TC time with Huns if you're playing a full feudal war.
Especially maybe full feudal war with other civs too, because you get pop capped. But Sebastian has not had that problem at all in this game. More scouts for Sebastian. Vinch wants to click up. I actually am starting to like Vinch's position a bit. He's very exposed on a lot of his farms, though. The woodline can still be walled up. The gold can still be walled up. But, yeah, 5, 6 villagers could be sniped on farms if he's not careful. And he tries to take a fight here, but I don't think he realized that Sebastian got bloodlines, too. I guess the fight was really close.
It's still a decent fight for him, yeah.
Yeah.
He's just trying to distract and buy himself a lot of time now. Sebastian loops around to the north this time. I think Vinchester needs to be producing as he's going up here.
Yeah, scouts would be good. He is doing it. To add more villagers onto gold, deleted some of those walls, so he's exposed there. That's a vill down. More palisades from him. If you're just going to go light cav, you don't really need that much gold right now, so that could be okay. He could be back on gold in a moment, and this is just where when you have this many farmers, this is going to happen. Beautiful play from Sebastian. Blocks a bit, kills another villager.
3 vills dead. Vinch, though, very solid farming eco. 27 farms right now. Sebastian, similar situation with 25, but he has wheelbarrow too. If he can click up, he needs to get up soon, because once Vinchester gets there, it's going to be really, really tough for Sebastian. He's going to have to play on the back foot here for like 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, think about... Yeah, so for 2 minutes, Vinchester can make knights. He can make a second TC. I think Vinchester is going to have more vills in this game. Honestly, with the way this game is flowing. I understand. Like, right now, Sebastian has potential with these scouts. But it's not huge potential. Vinchester has enough to almost match every time. And the second TC should come up immediately for Vinch. This is okay for Vinchester. I know with the way the series has looked, and maybe particularly the last game, there's just a whole lot of faith in Sebastian, and rightly so. But Vinch is in a good spot here. 4 villagers is okay if you get to that second TC 2 minutes faster. And beautiful gates.
Trying to trap him in?
Yeah. Also cleared up all the scouts from Sebastian towards the south and is chasing that down.
I think he tried to go for a house wall there next to the farms, because that villager just moved in the direction that he's like, oh, dang.
Yeah, he might have. Yeah, second TC will be up. Vinch also will have husbandry, and husbandry should mean that he can chase down the remainder of the scouts. And now look at how this has changed. We got 9 light cav for Vinch. Sebastian needing to defend. If there's any holes in Sebastian's walls, he's toast. But I think he's walled up right now.
I would actually... normally, I love to see the Huns wall. I think that's a big weakness of people playing Huns. They play open like this. But for Vinchester, like, I'd like to see the third TC be close to these first 2. Because I feel like there's going to be so many raids coming in. You need to play super condensed here with high army numbers. You can't spread yourself out.
I think if you were going to wall up with Huns, it's too late, right? You can't be sending random villagers out.
Yep.
I'm curious to see if Vinchester is aware that Sebastian has that many scouts. Because Sebastian just got 11 scouts chilling on the hill waiting for upgrades. And Vinchester's still been encountering a lot of other armies. So he might think that he's killed off most of them. And oh god, like that TC for Vinch is great. But if he gets surprised here, this is horrible. Oh man, Sebastian splitting groups.
And let's see, Vinchester, does he see it? Doesn't have town watch, and the light cav in on that TC. On the
he hits every TC.
Light
he hits
in on the gold. Oh boy.
one army becomes 3, and Vinchester reacts now to be able to complete the TC at least, but now 12 villagers killed, 13 villagers killed by Sebastian. And Vinchester still has not broken through. He did take out the stable.
He took a terrible fight with the archers, though.
Oh, God.
And the scouts.
And Dave DeVille's just keep getting picked off. And, I mean, Sebastian, he walled up in the previous game and went low army. Got value.
Mm-hmm.
He stayed pretty open here and made tons of army. Now 1 TC. Got value. Killed 20 villagers. Poor Vinch now down 10, actually. And still on 3 TCs.
Army.
But no army.
No army.
Yeah.
7 military, right? Sebastian had like 4 knights in the queue from 4 stables. Like, what?
Also, Sebastian scouting the map with the weak light cav. Remember the Aztecs game where he got 5 relics?
Yep.
He sees 4 of them right now. And the
He's
5th
doing
one's
all
actually
the little
pretty close
things,
to him.
man. He's just doing all
Keeps
the little
his monk alive.
things that will
Keeps
that
his monk
will
alive in the monastery.
push him ahead. Exactly.
He's the truth, dude. Like he is so good. I know earlier someone I got one guide a little bit, right? One comment lived with me, but T90's such a big Sebastian guy. Sebastian this. He doesn't give credit to Vinch. Vinch has played incredible today. He's played incredible in this whole run. But Sebastian punishes every little mistake. We're not really seeing any cracks in the armor or issues for Sebastian on his side. The only thing right now...
Oh, Morville's dead soon. Oh, jeez.
The only thing right now for Sebastian, he doesn't have a second town center. So he might
doesn't
need to think
need
about
it.
that.
It just keep killing vills.
Yeah, and Huns are without the walls or the houses, are just getting brutalized here. TC's not enough to protect this much eco, Vinchester, and he doesn't have army anymore. He lost all of his army to Sebastian on the front and in defense. Just the idle time is going to be insane for Vinch if he has to garrison this frequently. It's kind of funny
right now, dude.
You know
horses. Horses in my economy. 7 horses. Hoovering.
This is a Huns or Huns moment, but in a bad way, you know?
Huns are done. Yeah.
Like when Huns win, we're like, Huns
dude.
are Huns,
Yeah.
baby. Cav Archer's playing open. When Huns lose, we're like, oh, okay, well, this is kind of rough against a walled opponent. I'm unwilling to just say that this is coming down to Vinchester not walling, though. He was under great deals of pressure. Sebastian made so much army, and Sebastian wasn't fully walled until right before Castle Age. So
this is a problem for Vinchester in multiple games, though, where he has this army. Sebastian's walled, and what does he do? Instead of looping around and trying to go for those weird areas, looking for an overchop, pressuring a palisade, he just attacks the double wall in the center.
Yeah.
There's multiple games where he's doing this, and Sebastian doesn't really care about that.
Sebastian, 2 relics. So he has +2 attack added to his knights from those 2 relics. It's probably going to be 3 in a moment. I mean, I'm expecting 4. I'm expecting 5 at this point. Actually, 2 monks do have relics. So, yeah. And it's a night war. So, 30 knights? Does he actually have 30 knights right now? What? Oh, my God. He's got 30 knights 34 minutes into the game. That's something like... maybe it is very doable, actually, if you were to go into a single player and try and accomplish that. But it still feels wild to see that he's going to have a knight for every minute played in this game in a moment.
And he's still keeping up the production.
And he's going to heal up the weak ones, the weak group. And he just pushes in. Who cares? When you have this many knights, kill the monks.
Yeah, even if he gets 3 conversions, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He's going in on the wood line again. Is there a hole there? Of course there is. Vinchester. I mean, he's trying the strat where he tries to make villagers faster than he loses them, but he calls the GG. Congrats. In a tournament full of upsets, we have Sebastian taking first place. That was a really, really well-played best of 9.
Big tournament before this was Warlords. He got 3rd place. He took some games off of Viper. I think he was the first player to take games off of Viper in that one. He then beat Tato in the 3rd place match, and in this tournament took down Leary, took down Sito, who had taken down Hera already, and now takes down Vinchester, who took down some big names. It was a great tournament, man. But at the end of it, I'm not surprised to see Sebastian has won it. I'm not surprised after seeing everybody else that went down. Obviously, it's maybe a bit of a different situation if the Vipers, Heras, Yos, all those guys weren't killed off in the earlier stages. But he's just really good, man. He's just really, really good. And I think he might be more aggressive than any player I've seen win a tourney in some time. I'm thinking about that statement. But his aggression at times is really, really something special.
I mean, for me, it's not even the aggression for him. Like it's not even the micro or anything. It's the consistency in going for the double walls at home, getting the farms up, getting the eco upgrades, all of those things behind while he's doing those things that we're looking at forward, right? Like double walling is so important. And we saw Vinchester just bash his head against the wall multiple times because there's no way in to Sebastian's base. Like there's no way in. And then how does he manage to get 4 stable night production? Because he got wheelbarrow super early with 27 farms or whatever he had. And then he clicks up and he's producing so many like heaven. He just shifts that focus into nights later. It's just really, really
so
solid.
Frequently there's like stages in a game. So the player will focus primarily on military, then shift to eco, or primarily on eco, then shift to military. He's just got such a good balance with it, doesn't he? Right? He's always got something going on, has the correct priorities while also having the upgrades and the eco flying in. So yeah, congratulations to Sebastian. I still think Vinchester should be incredibly happy with his performance in this tournament. Second place here is awesome. He played really good. I think he only looked rough in this series. Maybe the last 2 games. I think that's where he maybe felt like he was just clearly not as good as Sebastian today. But I don't want to see a player lose and get upset.
It's not bad.
Yeah,
it's 2K.
Is it only 2K for the? I say only.
It's 2K for second place. It's the prize pool is really spread out. On this one, it's 3K for first, 2K for second, and then like 1,000 for. It's really spread out, bro.
So
1,500 for third and fourth, and only 2K for second. That's crazy.
Interesting. It's actually, I personally really like that. I think more events need to have a wider spread to areas that aren't at the very top. So yeah, that's good stuff. I mean, good. I guess that's good for like Viper, Leary, Yo. The fact that 9 through 16
they all got
more
500. Yeah, they all got 500, and then like Prisma, Daniel, Hope, they all got 250.
Yeah, that's solid, man. 17 through 32nd getting 250 is really good. I don't know the sponsor who hosted this. I just know it's a Chinese sponsor who is a big fan of Yo and Vivi. Shout out to him. I don't think he'll be watching, but it really is crazy that someone put this on. And I imagine it was probably his initiative to kind of spread the love, which is awesome. So,
well, apparently Vivi made a lot from this tournament, which is great. Apparently made like tens of thousands of dollars from this.
Really? From fans
from
watching?
like donations and stuff. Yeah.
Sick, dude. Good for Vivi. Good for him, man. I'm trying to see. I'd be down to ask Sebastian a couple questions. But he may be the hype in Argentina, Uruguay, all the creators, they might be interviewing him in Spanish right now. Are you free for an interview? I wouldn't mind asking him a couple questions. I don't want to take too much of his time. But I would say maybe it's unlikely here. I had a good time casting the last couple days. The semis, dude, still.
Semis very insane.
Game 7 between Sebastian and Sato was crazy to me. Definitely.
I think with this one, so many of these games felt inevitable, right? The first game, Byzantines against Persian, inevitable.
Yep.
The Tatars Franks one, a little bit of back and forth. Obviously, the Magyars Britons one with Vinchester was probably, the most fun game of the set. And then Aztec Slavs, a little inevitable. Khmer Vietnamese, inevitable.
Yeah. And that's just what Sebastian brings. That's what the best players bring is you look at a situation, even if on paper it should be open or even on both sides, you just say, oh, okay, well, this guy's going to win. There's no way he lets that slip. I will say Sato was the breaker of the inevitable in this tournament because like Hera always brings a sense of, oh, it's inevitable. and had good positions in his series. And Sato just kept coming. And then Sato against Sebastian also still somehow found ways to claw games back. So shout out to Sato. I feel like playing 4 hours yesterday to then not be in the final today probably is pretty brutal for him.
Also, shout out to Stray Dog, who managed to make Sebastian look the most uncomfortable I think I've ever seen him when he had 8 towers surrounding his base in the round of 32.
That was a long time ago now.
Dude, Sebastian was in a position where he was making ballista elephants to try and stay alive.
Ah, yeah, the ballista elephant game, yeah.
I still remember that game, bro.
Yeah, so Sebastian 4-1ing Stray Dog, 4-2ing Leary, 4-0ing Andy, 4-3 Sato, 4-1 Vinchester. Man, you got to beat so many good players to win. Holy crap.
It's a crazy run. I mean, imagine Sato completed the run, right? That would have been so crazy.
Agreed.
He would have gone through Kingston, Doubt, Hera, Sebastian, and then Vinchester. Obviously, we're assuming that he would do well against Vinch, but
yeah, it was good.
Tournament.
Similar thing for Barles, honestly. 4-3 versus Classic Pro, 4-1 over ACCM. I think most people favored ACCM. Beat Mihai, who beat Viper, and then obviously lost to Vinch by 1 game. So the final 4 have got to be really happy. That's what made this tournament exciting, guys. And thanks everyone for watching. Good cast, man. I think Sebastian's busy, so we'll just head off. But GG's, man.
Easy. All right, dude. GG's.
All right,
see you later, man. Peace.